What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nerd Rage Radio, episode 360. What is 360 really? It's a circle representing all of the people that are in the circle. And tonight I am joined with the other three dummies. I have Mrs. Skullface.
Hello.
I have Mr. Just One.
Yo, what's happening?
And I have Robert Detoff.
If you're nasty.
And so they've agreed to join us for Nerd Rage, which is nice because Joe and Chris are both, I think Joe's going to be out for the rest of the month. And Chris is like a week by week because he's doing a lot of traveling. So I appreciate it. I don't have anything like pre-planned.
Where's Dante?
I don't know. He's only free Wednesdays. I know that much. I think anyway. So I don't have anything planned. I can hear Robert's mouth noises through the mic. I really don't like doing this show with people not here presently, but through Skype. But you know, they live at opposite ends of the earth. So what are you going to do? You guys are both guests. So Jisk, sounds crazy to even say, but how was your nerd week? And we're gonna jump right back to it, but to Jisk. But honestly, I gotta be honest with you. Like, I feel like I want to go into like Dummies tempo, and like it is a different tempo now that I'm like partaking on both, so to speak. So Jisk, how was your nerd week?
Is this a more formal vibe?
Yeah,
A more formal.
no, it's not really. It's not really though. It's more informal. Yeah.
It's just the format. The format's different. How was my nerd week? It's uneventful. I mean, I didn't get anything.
No.
Let me see what I watched. Trying to think if I watched.
Are you watching anything recently? Doesn't have to be in this week, so to speak.
Yeah, no, you know what I mean. I finished, The Boys. That's dope.
Did you watch the cartoon ones?
I haven't watched any of the cartoon ones.
You should watch it. No, just
good.
I don't like cartoons really. Like, I don't, and I really enjoyed them. And we sat and watched all of them in like one clip.
Yeah,
it only took like 45 minutes to watch all of them, and they're like just 10 minutes long or whatever.
Yeah, it was good.
Right,
they're worth a watch. Like, even if you can just pop, watch one or there.
Yeah,
there you go.
Just what were you talking? We were going to talk. Oh, would you rather? You would rather look at shelves from like My First Shelf displays more so than something else? What was it?
Yeah. Oh, then see that Munsters movie, but we'll get.
Oh
to
yeah,
that.
we'll get to that. But it is. I did think it was maybe worthwhile to talk about like how exhausting sometimes the collection critiques. Everybody could chime in, but like how exhausting the collection critiques can be when like you're sitting there for like an hour and like
or
the
two.
Shit is sometimes it's like so awful.
Well, especially, and it's not to be mean to like, I understand, but like, look, we've done enough of them now that like, if your shelf looks like anything we've reviewed, don't send in your photo. You already know your answer.
But the problem is they all sent their photos in like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but that's why we skip over them and then we say.
Yeah, but even like these folks are still from like the initial batch of send-ins. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love
listen, they got to get cut.
I love when people like chime in like, "Hey man, how much further am I?" Of like, I'd say you're about 6 years from at this rate.
Yeah,
there's some people hit me up like, "Hey, I've changed them a bit. If I know it'll knock me down to the bottom of the list if I resubmit, but do you think that'd be okay? I don't think it'd make much of a difference."
Oh God!
That's why I'd be like, yeah, you're better off. You're going to get to it faster if you just resubmit at this point. Because I legit think that we should go through and just be like, hey, Michael W, you look like everything else we've seen. Just go back and watch the episodes.
What if instead of a specific,
just blow through?
No, but seriously, what if we do it like speed critique,
like
where we just
dating.
rate it 1 to 10, and then like,
it's not fair.
It's not fair.
Life's not fair.
So.
Because it is, at the same time, it is like something special, right? Like that we've tapped into because like people really like it. Even if they like hate it, they like it, you know?
Yeah, we could be like 0, -5, 20.
Dude, and not to plug the Patreon, but to plug the Patreon, some of the uncut is so funny. Like I was sending a bunch of clips from it today. Maybe I don't know if I can play. I don't think I can play it while you guys are on the line. But of just this one that I'm getting ready to cut and edit for this week. Where it just was like, oh man, if we just do this show on Patreon, then I could really say what I want to say, which is let's move on to the next one.
I honestly don't want to see that guy any more of that guy's shit.
Yeah, because it does
no more.
You know, because it is like you're trying. you're trying not to be like, it's going to be viewed by like a bunch of people, including him. And it's like, you don't want it to be like a bully situation.
Well, sometimes it's definitely a bully situation.
Yeah, but you don't want it to feel that way where it's like you're just getting...
it definitely feels that way. Sometimes if that's your mission to not make it feel like that, I think maybe we need to...
That's not my mission, but I would say it's like a side quest.
Well, listen, I think what needs to be said too is it's not our intent. Like, we're not going to start out, but after looking at the same...
Yeah, if you're
trash,
in the fourth quarter of the second show for the evening, it sucks to be you.
I'm just like, that's it. I've got nothing. Yeah. I've got no more constructive criticism left. You just shots are just being fired. I just want to poke.
Because it is exhausting.
Those should probably come with a bit of a disclaimer. Whoever ends up in the fourth quarter, should probably know you ended up...
Alcohol set in at that point.
You ended up in the fourth quarter and
we've had enough of your shit.
I was disappointed that you cut out that one dude who had the basement where I commented on the photo of the kids that was in there. I saw that didn't make the cut. But it was so good.
There's a lot of stuff that I tried, of his personal shit. You know what I mean? They'd be like, oh, look, he went to such and such high school. I'm like, oh man, let me just cut that out. Because for all I know, he's still going there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Based
on, I could tell by your collection that you're still in school.
Yeah, I think there's been a few of those, to be honest.
Don't quit.
Don't
quit your day job.
Because a lot of times we'll make. And for the listeners, if this is about the collection critique series for Dummies on my channel, I think that that goes without saying. But in case there's somebody that just listens to Nerd Rage and doesn't check out my channel, I was like, what the fuck are they talking about? But it is
no, there are people like that. There's certain there's different levels, right? And the Nerd Rage, there's a level of Nerd Rage listener that's like, don't worry, I'm not going to insult them, Bobby. They're like, I don't watch the Dummies. They're kind of a lowbrow. I like to listen about.
I think we're actually kind of highbrow. I like to call us.
I bet I don't think that anybody listens to Nerd Rage where we discuss going to the bathroom and techniques.
That's true.
I don't think that anybody considers
you somehow managed to make the how do you wipe discussion highbrow. It's all that's the thing. We're talking about the difference between For Dummies and Nerd Rage. Mm-hmm. Nerd Rage is it's a more respectful atmosphere. It's a lot more orderly, and I think it's probably because they're there in front of you. And they're all very respectful of you, unlike me and Jisk.
I don't think they're.
I think it would be worse.
They don't always feel like they're respectful of me. I'll tell you that much.
If me and Jisk were physically there, I think we'd be throwing toys across the room.
I just think it's different. I think that while I know Chris and probably Joe, but I know that they're capable of ripping on each other. I think that's just the three of us just naturally, I think from the beginning, just rip on each other.
Yeah.
Hard.
Yeah.
And we think it's funny. We don't take it. I never take it personally. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Because
I think it's hilarious though. I got to tell you, you're the movie critiques. It's like everyone's just trying to figure out what you're going to rate a movie, and their orbit is around that number. I liked it more than him. God, I hope he says 6.5 because I'm giving it a 7. And then Matt's always like, that's garbage. I'll give it a 6.
Well, I'll tell you, I feel when we talk about movies and media, I often feel I don't want to be the guy, but I do feel like I'm critical of this shit in a different way where I'm often on the negative side of things. But then sometimes I could just see it in their faces specifically, like Chris and Joe, when I'm 4, and I could just see oh, it's gonna be a long day here.
Dude, the Obi-Wan episode. Okay, yeah. the Obi-Wan episode. You were just I hated it. Fucking sucks. And everybody was like, yeah, it sucks, but I like this about it. But yeah, it sucks, but I like this. But yeah, you're right. Though it sucked, Bobby.
I think that's a misread on your part, Robert, because they definitely do.
You're right. It sucked. Please.
I actually no. I think I don't think it's a abusive relationship in that regard, but I think that they band together, the two of them, don't they? On their even Joe started to be like, well, it's just like Fast and the Furious. They'll start giving in a little bit, I think it's a misread. I don't think they don't waver, which is what makes some of those conversations particularly good at the end of the day. But I
miss the Force sensitive.
But I do so we can talk about that too. The Force sensitive. I had somebody hit me up.
The Gort sensitive.
The Gort sensitive. Yeah, I had somebody hit me up about it today, like just saying, like, man, I missed that show, and it's like, dude, I can't talk about Star Wars.
But you just did record something.
Because it was specific to that show, but I ended up just ranting about Star Wars.
Is that specifically what Robert's talking about?
No, he's just saying, he just brought it up.
Okay.
But like, I can't talk about that shit because I fucking get down in the dumps about it. It's like, you know, and I also, like, I hate, like, talking to a room, especially, like, you know, but they're like, but Obi-Wan and clones, and you can just see, like, their little joyful, you know, pockets on their faces, and, like, I start going in, and you can just see them all start fucking having the saturation just taken out of them, as I'm like, and there's another fucking thing that's bullshit, and like, I can just see, like, this is, like, all of their, like, it's like the bright,
the cherub cheeks, really.
Yeah, and then it just turns, like, these rainy day sad faces that are just, like, broken, and I don't like doing that. I don't really like being that person.
You just ruining their childhoods, dude.
He doesn't like it anymore.
No, it's not about what I like. It's not about what I like. It's about me expressing it to such a degree that, like, I don't even think it necessarily changes people's minds about it. Because if you, like, look at, like,
you just make them feel bad.
Well, yeah, like if you look at, like, The Last Jedi, right, which it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, but I don't think I changed a single mind about that shit. Like, not one single solitary mind about it, but it's just my position on it, and I defended it the best I could. Whereas, like, it's the same thing with this other stuff. Like, I don't say the things to, like, change where I can say without changing my mind, but what the problem ends up becoming is that, like, people just feel happy about something, and then by the time that I'm done, they don't feel happy anymore. You know, and it's not like they can't go home and be happy about it again. They just can't be happy about it in my presence. Like, it's like I can see it in their faces, you know.
I don't think your intent is to persuade anyone to change. I don't think you're trying to change anyone's mind. You're trying to express yourself. Yeah. I think most people around you, though, they seek the gravity of your approval. So they're loath to in any way do anything that turns that smile into a frown. Mm-hmm. You know.
Do you think you'll get to the point? Oh, I'm sorry, Robert. Go ahead.
It's okay.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna keep going. Do you think you'll ever get to that point where you just? I know you're not getting, like, the Star Wars content that you want, but you're just happy that they're just making stuff.
No,
he's not.
No. He's saying,
so you just got to be like, hey, I want this. I'm not getting the stuff I want to see, so I don't want any of it.
No, yeah, exactly. Like, and
yeah.
I can,
because they're ruining it for him.
Yeah, I just think, dude, it's just like lowest. It's like bottom rung. Just bottom. That's what they should.
It's like the collector's critique.
BRE, bottom rung entertainment.
More is not better.
Yeah,
on your shelves.
Listen, all I know is I hope they start putting product placement in the Star Wars shows. I want to see a Coca-Cola. I want to see, like, some, like, Slim Jims.
I have told you, it's like one of my favorite things about, like, being at a con is just seeing, like, Emperor Palpatine, like, lighting up a fucking Marlboro light outside of the fucking exit doors. Like, I go out of my way to, like, document that. I find it great. Like, do it. So, yeah. Do you have a light? I would use my fingers, but I'm just lopping.
You know, that Gort sensitive. So many people, more than one person tried to do an Emperor Palpatine impersonation, and they were all terrible. They all fell flat and were met with unsupported silence from the rest of you.
Yeah, but
every time.
Well, I don't know too much about that, but like, I know. I think my voice is just like from just the amount of screaming and yelling and fucking carrying on and smoking and drinking, and you know, it's just like these little weathered ropes sitting inside my fucking throat, and you know, it's like I guess it isn't all bad.
Dude, weathered ropes are just what you're shooting now.
Yeah. I'm not a big rope guy. Like, hold on, wait. I don't want to get too far into that right this second. There was something else we were just on the verge of.
You see, he had to qualify that with right this second.
Yeah,
he's a freak.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with getting into it at some point. I mean, we're just 14 minutes into this.
If we're talking about, I've never been a rope shooter. I'm just gonna put it out there.
Me neither.
Never been.
Me neither. I'd
like to be. I think I don't know. Something seems
satisfying,
Cool
but
about it.
like you would take like look what I did. But yeah, same way.
Yeah, but Bobby's a dozen a day man. He's like squirting water guns. You can't shoot ropes if you're a dozen a day.
You're fatigued, dude. You're fucking bald.
He's got vas deferens fatigue. Can't blame the man.
But I think we can transition. Robert, how's your
nerd week?
I hate to ask, but how's your nerd week been?
Oh, I am about to. I finally get to discuss this. This is wonderful because here's another thing. Like all you guys are in this fucking like echo chamber. You're all just like the boys. Did you watch
it?
Because you haven't watched it.
Did you see Batman? Yeah, I watched Batman. Yeah, Batman. Did you read that comic? Yeah, I read that comic. No one does anything different except Joe, and then you bust on him for his anime. Like, oh, Joe, your anime. How's Kakarot doing?
Yeah, I can't wait for how different you're going to be. Please tell me what you watch.
Yeah, really.
I'm going to do it in my.
I watched Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
I'll introduce it. You're going to be disgusted with me.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be met with a nerdish backlash of judgment, but I've binged watched The Orville.
I don't even know what that is, bro.
I love
The Orville? What's his face? Seth
crickets.
MacFarlane, his take on Star Trek?
That's the dude that he made.
Trash.
I thought that dude made popcorn.
Yeah, that is, he did. He did.
Look at this nerds judging nerds, right? I mean, you like Star Wars, you hate someone who likes Star Trek, and God forbid, you like Family Guy.
It's tribal, right? Isn't it?
It is, but Orville. I mean, a lot of people like it. A lot of people have never heard of it, but it's basically like Seth MacFarlane.
I'm in the latter.
You have never heard of it.
I've never heard of it.
It's basically.
No, I feel like we just
Star
saw
Trek.
a commercial for it, and I'm trying to think where that could have been.
No, homie.
Imagine Star Trek, but Seth MacFarlane did it. That's the Orville.
Okay.
And
So imagine Star Trek, but even worse.
I guarantee you, there's like there's a Brian voice on it and a Peter voice on it, and
there's an android, and he's in a terrible. It's like he's in a horrible robot costume. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, there's one scene he's in, like, they have, it's literally just like Star Trek. There's like a hologram room where people go and do their little, like, I'm in a saloon, and the fucking android walks in with a big, fake mustache and a 10-gallon hat. I mean, it's not a comedy, but it has like a comical twist to it. Okay. It's just raw like that, which is funny. Like they're trying to teach the android about practical jokes, so they do something to his head. And then the pilot wakes up the next day and the android cut his leg off in his sleep. Like, it's just, but I enjoy that show. I've watched like 2.5 seasons of it. The third season's now on Hulu.
So I was just going to say this. So this started in 2017. I think we watched the first episode.
I don't know. It doesn't sound familiar.
What happened in the first episode? Like, was it?
They started their first voyage.
But there was nothing crazy about. I might be getting mixed up.
That was when the captain caught his wife in bed with a blue alien, and then the blue alien's forehead came blue stuff all over the sheets.
Are you serious right now?
I think so.
Guess who plays the blue alien? Rob Lowe. Swear to God. I mean, there's another episode the next season where he comes back, and like turns out it's when he's in heat, and it's by contact. So if he touches you, you like fall in love with him, and you want to have sex with him. Anybody who touches him, and then it's fun.
I have that power.
So anyway, that's the Orville. I've been enjoying it. I'm into the middle of the third season. It's airing now on. It was originally, I think, Netflix or Amazon, but then the pandemic shut down production. Now they jump back in, and it's on Hulu of all places.
Of all places.
I had to call my mom for her Hulu password.
Why did you, rich motherfucker? Why did you just get a Hulu account?
I don't want to do it. I can't have that on my record.
A Hulu account?
I can't have that on my record.
God.
I only have Peacock.
Well, no Peacock. No, yeah. No, I got the Disney. I got the HBO. I got the Netflix, the Amazon, and whatever else.
Oh, we had a Netflix temper tantrum this week. That'll be in my nerd week. Oh, I can't wait.
I guarantee you, any Nerd Rage listeners, stand up and speak. Who watches Orville, and what are your thoughts on it? Let Bobby know it's cool to like the Orville.
I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people do watch it, but
it's fine.
we're just not two of the people that are currently, or three. Just you. You're not watching it either.
No, I'll never watch that. Never.
Not the boys.
The boys is over, Robert. So we could really, in theory, watch it now. But
like, I'm not.
Did he have sex with an octopus?
Dude, watch Peaky Blinders, man. Just watch the show. Just watch it.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah, dude.
Can't do it.
Wait for the story.
Can't do it.
Wait for the story. Just
what show?
Peaky Blinders.
I'll give you.
I'm actually just. I think I'm gonna actually just sign up under another email.
I'll be fucking furious.
Dude, it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it to watch it.
Peaky Blinders.
What is that? What is that about?
It's a gangster.
Like Tyler F.
I tried to watch it.
It's about some British.
Go ahead, Jess. You watch it. I don't.
It's about some British gangsters in the 20s, which I know you don't like the setting of the 20s
immediately,
but it's not like just it's all worth it, man. It's not stuffy like that.
All that shit, boing, boing, boing.
It's worth it, man. It's dope.
You ever like Peaky Blinders?
That's the dumbest.
But it's I know that show's respected. I have a hard time with gangster shit with this like fucking like like that era is just like so lame to me. Like Goodfellas ruined me. I think.
But it's just different. It's different, dude.
Is it peaky?
It's very peaky.
New Peaky Blinders.
Cheeky
There's
blinders.
a bad guy coming. Peeky through the blinders. Is he here?
Is he?
Is he here? Peeky through the blinders.
Robert, they're called Peaky Blinders because they have razor blades in their hat and then they take your eyes.
No, they don't.
All right.
They're just looking through the blinds.
Look through the blinders. Shade
They
up
have
playing
blinds.
lookout
They have
tonight,
blinds in
huh?
the corner.
But Robert, you really should watch The Boys. It's fantastic.
Look, I told you, I checked out when that woman fingered that guy's gill guts in his stomach. I was like, bleh.
It's good though, man. It's good. It's like I hate to be the one to tell you that like you know like the main like stream consciousness of it is right, but it is. You know, like
Hey, how you like the Orville, Robert? The Boys is better.
How do you know you've never watched the Orville?
Because I know.
This is going to lead us into the next thing that I watched.
Okay, let's hear
That
it.
I know neither of neither of you two or 9 of you 3, and you will all judge me for it. And you haven't watched it.
Okay,
you
well,
watched
what is
one
it?
episode. And
What
checked
is
out
it?
Dance
Stranger Things.
I watched Stranger Things.
fuck
Fine.
you.
Jana was watching it too. Poor thing.
Not anymore.
How many episodes have you watched, Bubby?
We
watched
watched
the
the
first
whole
season.
first season.
Hey, you watch the first season. So I'm in season 4. You
Yeah,
didn't
the
watch
first season
4.
was, but the first season was awful, dude. It's like
I don't think it was
You're
awful,
No,
but
it
it really
was.
it wasn't awful, but it just didn't. It wasn't special either. I don't know. We didn't get the.
it
No,
exists.
you won't. If you didn't like the first season, it does go downhill from there. You won't.
What doesn't? No, it does not.
It
No,
does.
it does
It does.
How do you,
Yeah,
you
it's-
haven't
Robert-
seen the rest of it.
I just know.
Robert says season 4 best yet.
But I mean, a lot of
Season
people are
4
saying
is
that. A
best,
lot of people are saying that. To be fair, a lot of like the general buzz about it is like season 1 was good, season 2 not so much, season 3 even worse, but season 4 is good again. But like,
I don't.
it's like that fucking anime mentality where it's like, dude, I'm not watching 3 seasons of shit to get to something good. Sorry, my time's
But it's
fucking
not
valuable.
that good though. It's not worth it. Yeah,
I
it's
don't
not worth it.
think. I don't think season 2 and 3 were worse. I think they were all good. They were all telling a story from beginning to end. So different parts of the story.
Story.
I don't know why people wouldn't like season 3. I think because they're not looking at the cohesive storytelling behind it. So they're just like, what's this bad guy now?
Do you feel
It's all
like
the
when
same
you're
bad
watching
guy.
something good, you have to think about the cohesive storytelling in the background?
No, I'm trying to figure out why people don't like say season 3. And I'm like, oh, okay, there's a different bad guy, you know, in a superficial way. You know, but 4 ties it up. But I mean, the moment Eddie Munson was playing Master of Puppets on the roof of the trailer in the Upside Down, I lost my shit.
It's fucking member berries, man. Like, that's what's so funny to me about it is like the member berry crowd was so quick to point to like Star Wars and point to these other things and then champion fucking whatever this shit is, Stranger Things. And that Stranger Things 100% relies on nostalgia and times of that past. Signs of that past.
Yeah, but like there's just some things like can do that and get a pass. Like it's like, oh, that's the charm of the show. The member berries is not the charm of Star Wars. It's just a crutch. You know what I mean?
So so I think that you're right, but I do think that like. I honestly, I don't think that, I think that the reason why that pissed me off was because like the stuff that excited me about that era had nothing to do with the nostalgia elements. It's not like, like when they would say like, oh, it's a TIE fighter sound, remember? But like that's not what excited me about the sequel trilogy was the TIE fighter sound. And I do think there was a fan that fell into that category. But I also think that whenever I talk to a fucking Stranger Things fan, they're like, but they play Legos and they have a Millennium Falcon and
so they're just
they have a VHS player and it's just also and it's obnoxious to me.
There's a lot of good writing and acting in this. Like there's like there's a certain character who's gay and you don't really see it. You slowly get hints at it in the writing, and then it even subtly comes out at the end without him coming out, and he's just like his brother's comforting him.
I just saw that I just saw a news article the other day that Stranger Things is under fire for queer baiting with that kid.
That's not queer baiting at all. That was a realistic thing. That was a beautiful scene.
Yeah, you got.
They disagree.
Yeah,
I don't know
all or nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Right. You're not waving flag stuff.
I don't know enough about it.
God forbid you show a realistic scenario.
If you're not out and proud, then you're bullshit.
Was Robert? That's how I feel about The Boys. With a lot of stuff that goes on in The Boys, not the supernatural like stuff, obviously, but like the relationship stuff between different types of people. I think is a very realistic approach to it, and and I, without anybody kind of grandstanding about their position, it's just people kind of getting along that are different.
Can I ask you a question? Which character out of all of the cast in The Boys do you relate to the most? And don't say the Butcher.
It's not the Butcher.
It's Aquaman.
No,
no. Bobby's a mother's milk. Bobby's a mother's milk, dude.
The deep.
No, I don't know. The characters that I like. My favorite character in it is just Homelander. Just because he reminds me of a friend of mine, and it makes me laugh.
Shane.
Yeah, he reminds me of Shane. And like if Shane had superpowers, it's probably exactly how he would be, just a complete monster.
I knew it.
But like I find it entertaining. But like,
but he didn't ask you. Okay,
is who I relate to the most.
Yeah, Frenchie's one of my favorites.
Frenchie is my favorite. Yeah, for sure. I hate him. I hate Homelander. I hate him so much.
I do too. I love.
He makes my skin crawl. I just don't even like when he walks onto the screen.
Yeah,
just like
who would win in a fight, Kal-El or Homelander?
Homelander.
Really?
Yeah, because Homelander is willing to do what Kal-El isn't. Like, it's the same reason why Batman always beats Superman. It's not that Batman can overpower him. Batman's just willing to cross boundaries that Superman isn't.
Well, let's say Superman is now the Injustice Superman.
Oh, then Superman. Okay. But I don't like the scenario. Like, I prefer to think of my Superman as a very pure thing. I don't like, even though I can appreciate Injustice Superman for what it is, I don't really like to think of him that way.
You should.
All right, so
you like him,
Robert. You were busy with Orville and Stranger Things. Do you have anything else in your
NRR? You're never getting rushed in NRR. You get to talk about your nerd week for 45 minutes.
I was wondering though if you had anything else that you.
Yes, I have. I have one,
a whole
2,
list.
3, 4. I got a lot.
Oh, good. Whole episode.
We're gonna be here for quite a while.
Done.
All right, what else you got? What else you got?
I've been playing VR more.
Oh,
Have you?
You've heard about this, Beat Saber. The kids are amazing at it. I suck tremendously.
Well, Robert, why haven't you accepted my friend request?
You sent me a friend request?
Yeah.
Ooh, I will. Let me log in.
I got to be
I
honest.
don't play it ever, but
I played around with that VR thing.
did you? Oh, at Chris's house?
No,
Oh,
in Glenwood, and I enjoyed it.
I'm just kind of curious.
But I think it is 100% one of those things. If I owned it,
You would never use
I would
it.
never fucking use it.
You mean like all the video
dude,
game
that's a
systems
fact.
that you have?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
even more so.
Oh my God. You sure?
Yeah, it's because it's a novelty thing, and it's not that good. So like once you wear out the novelty of it, your interest is like feigning at best. You know.
It just sounds like he's a
You're
believer.
like, I'm walking a plank and I'm gonna fall off a building. It's like I'm really
I
there.
never touch it.
You know,
You
but
meant waning, by the way.
I'm sorry, waning. What
Sarah
did I say?
asks me all the time.
You said feigning.
Is it Sarah?
Oh.
Sarah does it?
Well, no. So they bought it. She bought it for me on a whim, like on Father's Day, after like the recommendation from one of my brothers and sisters, and it was dope. But like I never touch it. And she's like, "How come you never play it anymore?"
Wait, from one of your siblings?
Because I don't want to walk around.
Did it come with a Bible app?
You just walk around like a fucking idiot. I'm in Spain. I'm in Greece.
Is that what you
Like,
do? You just put it on?
you're in the living room.
Yo, we should.
I mean, it's cool,
I
but-
didn't know you sent me a friend request. We should do Beat Saber against each other.
Yeah, dude, I'm down.
There you
Give
go.
me a reason to play it.
Beat Saber.
Sarah's going to be so happy. See it back in
I know.
action.
I can't believe you don't do it, Bobby, because you get to wield lightsabers to music.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
Oh.
It just doesn't do. Like I said, it was cool to do it once, but then I was like, this is dumb. Like by the time I was finished playing it, I knew I didn't want to play it ever again in my life.
But they have a whole like section of drill music in there.
All right.
I'm lying.
That's
Totally
about
lying. It's like it's it's more like Skrillex, really.
Oh, of course it is.
I hate Skrillex.
Robert, I did
Anyway,
want to talk to you
Robert,
a bit during your Nerd Week about something that I've been super happy to see, in that you're taking a little bit of pride in your collection now that it's all in Jersey.
Yeah, the MP stuff is. Thank you.
And
I appreciate that.
like, and Laura and I were even talking about it one night because we were like, fuck, this might be the first time that he's ever had a chance to enjoy his collection, you know, for 8 years or 9 years.
It's stressful. It's good to have the excuse of not being able to, because getting the shit. Oh God, can you hear that static?
Yeah, I'll tell you what else is
Yes.
stressful. Your microphone connection is stressful.
It's the wire's too long. It's stupid.
You're right. It's the wire's fault.
The wire's too long. It's like a 12-foot wire, and I'm 6 inches from the box.
Shorter wire.
Story of your life, isn't it?
No, yeah, this is stressful, man. Like right now, I could send you a pic. I was like, fuck it, let me get the movie bots on one shelf, and it looks like garbage. I got all the G1 Autobots on one shelf, and they look like trash because they're too crowded. So I
I think
Is the
maybe
pressure
in the house.
heightened because we
Yeah.
critique stuff?
Yeah.
Like because we started doing these critiques?
I think that's a good,
for
fair
sure.
question.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say I'm afraid of you guys judging me, because I've been at the bottom of the barrel.
That's not
It's
what
more like
he didn't say. Are you afraid of us judging it, Robert?
Yeah, you added that.
That's not what he said. Go ahead, say it again, Jisk.
I don't remember exactly what I said, but I said, is the pressure greater because
Yes.
we critique this stuff?
Yes, and or you have a higher pressure, but like you have a higher expectation of yourself, right?
I think yes. I think the answer to that question is yes, because when you just throw your shit in a pile on the floor, you can make fun of everybody.
Right.
But when you try to be serious, now you're competing.
It is. It does give you the luxury of like, it's like the shield of trash, right? Like there's like I get to look at everybody and laugh because mine's in such disarray. But the moment I start to take mine serious, now I'm in the category where you can say the same about me. You know?
Yeah, I just
And
want
I
a
think
little
too-
more room.
I think that's why we started talking about it too, not to go back, but because it is so hard, and it is, forget your collection and your furniture, it's unique to the space, the setting, like so much goes into it that it's not the same answer for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big answer I'm realizing is it's risers. Like with MP, like you can really pull off a good aesthetic. If you can't have whatever the scale is, they can't just be if it's going to be more than one row, you can't just have them all on the shelf at the same level. But if you can fill it somehow so it looks more comic booky, then it looks good. I did that with my Legends, and it looked good because they're going up the wall, So I got to play with that. I mean, I'm just...
And Legends, you have all those fucking Legends, and
you're gonna have
the
to say
truth
goodbye to
is
some of
they're
them, Robert.
fucking impossible, man. They're impossible, and I've been screaming it from the mountaintops that like it's not. I mean, obviously it's not impossible, but it's a very, very challenging collection to have look meaningful in any real way. And
if you don't collect combiners, then it's really impossible.
No,
they need to scale. Your bots need to scale with your furniture, or your furniture needs to scale with your collection.
Yep. So I think if you had one of those, like, and not saying you, Robert, but one had like one of those, like, I mean, I'll be honest with you, like those CD racks where it's like these, or I've seen people do it with Joe's too, where they're like these little square cubes and there's just tons and tons and tons of them. And one G.I. Joe 3 3/4 occupies one cube on and on. Then like it looks right. But the moment that you just have this fuck all explosion of little stupid things, then it takes it all away.
But that's why I like to display them with the big bots, because I like the scale, but also they become an accessory to the big one.
Yeah, and that's cool, but there's only so many big bots, and then you're always going to be left with remainders. And what do you do with them?
Yeah, throw them in a pile. Make fun of everybody else.
But I am happy to see you like start to try to figure it out and start to take it seriously and start like, because it is like a, I don't know, it's almost like kids showing their math homework or something, like, you know what I mean? It's like, because like, look what I'm doing, but I do find it
the worst.
I know, but I do find it endearing.
I spend so much time just sitting in my chair here, staring at the shelves.
Yeah, man.
And just picturing what's going to go where, what heights I need, and not moving a thing. Hours just sitting here looking, staring,
Yeah. I mean, even when people compliment mine, I'm like, dude, like I could point out 100 of mine that drive me nuts, that like, I don't feel like I've gotten, and then like a handful that I feel like I've gotten right,
You got some good tools. You got some good tools though.
You did. I that was a gift from a friend, really. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I just found
an axe.
We just found an axe recently. It was in.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When you after Skullfest, the next larger item that you reviewed, you had to move whatever that foam mini backdrop was off of your display, your review area. What did you find on the tabletop there behind it?
A pair of needle nose pliers.
How many of those have you found so far?
I mean, I keep finding them. I've found enough where like. So like, I'll tell you at first, I'll be honest with you, the mind fuck of that, for those listening, I think I've made this abundantly clear, but I used needle nose pliers on one figure of Robert's just to push a flap through. It caused 0 damage whatsoever, but like, it's like he's got a hard on for it now, right? So he's like sending me needle nose pliers and putting little tools in all the little hands of all my figures. But when he was at Skullfest, he left apparently a fuck ton of needle nose pliers. But needle nose pliers are one of those things where it's like you always have a lot of them. You don't really know how you have so many, but you always have this abundance of them. So like at first, the mind fuck of it all was like, I was like, oh, well, I wonder how I left these here. And like there was like, and then
you got to put them away, and there's like 18 in the cup.
Exactly. There was 3 stages of it. My initial stage was, man, I wonder how. I was like, like maybe I was drinking and I left them here. It just seems like a weird place for them. The second phase was Robert found my stash of needle nose pliers and then hid them around the house. And then it becomes so many sets of needle nose pliers that it dawns on me that no, he bought an endless supply of needle nose pliers and hid them sporadically around my house. I'm still finding those in little skeletons everywhere.
Oh, Jisk, it worked. I told him that's how it was going to play out. You were going to be like, "Oh, I left my pliers over here." Yeah. And I said, "You're going to walk them back to the plier spot." And you're going to be like, wait, what? And you're going to slowly realize there's a fucking mountain growing.
I mean, it is exactly what happened.
Guess
exactly what happened.
Bobby, there's more.
I have no doubt.
More.
I have no doubt.
This is a long game, my man.
I have no doubt. You have a strange commitment.
Okay, next up in the Nerd Week.
Yeah.
We'll make these two quick because they're old news at this point. I stopped watching Miss Marvel at the second episode. It's garbage.
Yeah, it's not good, is it? Did you hear
Multiverse of Madness?
Did you hear how it ended?
No, I don't even care.
Just did you hear how it ended?
I stopped watching it at the second preview.
Okay, so the second preview.
No, but that.
So it ended with them saying, or one of her friends says, like, obviously, like, I got access to her blood. Or like, who the fuck knows? And he's like, I've noticed something's different about you. Your genes are mutated. And then you hear in the background, and then it ends.
You hear?
Oh God!
Yeah, it's pretty.
Do you really hear that? You hear the sound?
Yep.
And then you hear morph.
And then you hear it's Marvin time.
Dude, I forgot all
about that. That's the only thing I remember in the cartoon. That's the only thing I remember in the cartoon is Wolverine being all sad that dude died.
And he does it. Morph.
He's a morph.
So true.
You know, there are some apologists that are like trying to say, like, no, you're looking at, you know, the phase. Is this phase 4 now?
This is phase 4.
Phase 4. We're looking at phase 4 through phase 3 goggles. But when reality, we should be looking at phase 4 through phase 1 goggles.
It's still
that's
awful.
bullshit.
Or maybe still look at all the phases through the same goggles.
I don't give a fuck if you look at.
I don't want to wear goggles to see the face. I just want to watch. Like,
as soon as fucking Doctor Strange had a goddamn,
I don't want to wear goggles to see the face.
Sorcerer's Apprentice battle. When Doctor Strange had a Sorcerer's Apprentice battle with his evil self, I was just like done. I was like, this is horrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
You know, I mean,
my question for the room, we talked about it a little bit earlier, but like, what is the best piece of media from Phase 4? Do you recall? Did I send this to the dummies today?
What do you mean?
All right, so I'm gonna.
No, but like, what was the favorite thing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna read them all.
Like subjectively, the best out of all of them.
Yes,
or our personal favorites.
The same thing. I'm gonna read them off. Okay, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man 3, Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4, and 7 years ago.
Thor 4, s'more.
WandaVision, Loki, What If, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel.
Ooh. I'm going to say it's between Black Widow and Loki for me. I know you're going to say WandaVision because you're trash.
No, I don't. I don't say WandaVision.
It's garbage.
No,
Wanda is one of the linchpin reasons why Phase 4 is garbage.
So I agree with that too. But I don't think they're mutually exclusive. But don't worry so much about my opinion. But what was yours?
That's all that this is about. This is Nerd Rage.
No, come on, man. What was yours?
I'm going to say Loki.
Okay, Jisk.
Dude, Falcon and Hawkeye. I mean, Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Hawkeye.
Falcon and Winter Soldier are probably my favorite out of all of them. They just seem the most normal.
All right, and what was yours?
I liked Spider-Man, but I liked Moon Knight too.
Yeah,
I did.
So I think Shang-Chi is the right answer.
Oh, that's right.
And
so here we go. Not the right answer.
No,
because that's your answer.
Yeah, no, I think
Aquafina is so bad.
I think it's also the right answer. Like, I don't really like it all that much. I think it's fine. I think it's a 7 out of 10 movie, but I think most Marvel movies are 7 out of 10. And like, I think it's the one that feels most like a Marvel movie. It adds a little bit of new stuff to the world. It doesn't upset the fabric of previous. It feels like it's part of the same tapestry. It's a part of it that I don't think is necessarily anything special. but it feels like a part of it, where a lot of this shit just feels like people just don't give a fuck. Like,
okay, but what about Shang-Chi like made you feel that it was Marvel? Other than them telling you it's Marvel,
just everything about it, like the rhythm of it, like the flow of it, the pacing of it, the introduction to the characters, that they have a little bit of good stuff going on. They got a little bit of history, enough to make you invest in them emotionally, but at the same time they're somewhat hurt, and they get to find their way to greatness by believing in something, and they get the thing, and then they fight the villain, and like it just feels like all a part of it. We're like Mouth of Madness or whatever that fucking Doctor Strange shit was. It
was just a mess.
It's a mess.
It was a mess.
And then this
there's no method to that.
Thor 4 and 7 years ago is kind of the it's kind of the same thing, where it's like I
don't think that one was a mess though.
It's not a mess. It's not a mess, but it doesn't. It almost
didn't know what it wanted to be.
It almost feels like a mockery of something, or it feels like a spoof of it all. Yeah. Like it's like self-aware that it takes place in the goofy space, and as a result, it doesn't take itself seriously at all. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I feel like it takes itself seriously like 10 to 15%, which is kind of awkward.
Yeah.
For that 10 or 15%. You know what I mean?
I know this sounds shady, but what did Joe think about Shang-Chi?
He loved it.
I don't get that, because I'm sure Joe has had lots of experience with like Hong Kong Kung Fu movies.
Right.
This was taking the most generic template of like a Hong Kong Kung Fu movie with the most generic fighting possible. Like with a Kung Fu movie, like you are looking at the style.
What type of Kung Fu movie?
Hong Kong Kung Fu movie.
Oh, but you ever go?
Say that 10 times.
You ever checked out a Hong Kong one, or you just always get a Hong Kong? What is
like
that
Bollywood.
about?
It's like Bollywood.
Stay Antonio Banderas.
Movies, the Hong Kong Kung Fu movies.
So much sauce.
Hong Kong Kung Fu. But no, seriously, that Hong Kong Kung Fu.
Hong Kong.
They seriously like I'm shocked that Joe liked it, because this is the most watered down bullshit, like, pardon the term, but kowtow to like China in terms of like movie production. Like it was just like, let's just do this generic, washed out glorification of a kung fu movie.
Hey, I feel like that's like what Marvel does best.
Exactly. That's my argument. Is I feel like that's what they do. They make this generic, washed out version
that
of
makes
things.
you laugh.
That's
looks
like,
pretty
and that's palatable. You don't have to think too hard.
When I'm watching like a kung fu movie, I want to see like.
It's not a kung fu movie, Robert.
What type of kung fu movie?
It is a kung fu movie. Don't get yourself wrong. That's a kung fu movie.
What type?
Bland one.
What type of kung fu?
What's your favorite kind?
What kind?
The Hong Kong kung fu movie. Like, oh my god, a really bad movie, but it was a great kung fu movie. Was
what type of kung fu movie?
Hong Kong. It wasn't a Hong Kong kung fu movie though. You know, the Jet Li did a movie. I think it was called The One or something, where it was like it was a multiverse movie, as I recall.
Okay.
And years ago, but it was in America, just like how Jackie Chan came to America and did Rumble in the Bronx. Like Jet Li started movies in America, and there's a good version of himself and a bad version of himself. The bad version of himself did a style of kung fu called Xing Yi, which is known to turn you aggressive and mean. And the good version of himself did a version of kung fu called Bagua, which is considered very balanced and harmonious. And you wouldn't know that unless you're watching them fight, and you can recognize the fighting styles. And then it's like mind-blowing. So it's like kung fu movies have that nuance. You can't just fucking have like Michelle Yeoh doing wushu, and like just everybody's doing this generic bullshit, and this guy's got a fucking rings on his arm that
but I mean, that is
around like a chain whip.
Do you think there's too many?
I don't think everybody in the movie theater needs to know all that.
And do you think there's?
Like, I don't think they're looking for that level of detail in the movie. I don't think they're all like super heavy kung fu
Hong Kong
movie fans. Like, I don't think like
you don't need to be. Like, if you see the good stuff, you all of a sudden realize, oh shit, this is the good stuff, and then you have this to compare it to. You know, I mean, once you just get exposed to the good stuff, then you're like, oh, this is fucking crap. Like the fucking mythic world where they went to with the Chinese unicorns. And
I thought that was cool.
Lions. Of course you did, dude. You eat pizza in Maryland.
We make pizza.
The only
Maryland.
thing that
it makes it worse.
generically copied from like Chinese mythology was those faceless fuzz things, and that's the point. If they are trying to create something on their own, they come up with a walking ass named Harold.
Of course you do, dude. You eat pizza in Maryland.
Hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna pull a Chris Pinkerton if you're nasty and go to the bathroom for a second. Excuse me. Signing off.
Excuse me, please. Saying excuse me, please. Is nuts. What a whirlwind of emotions. Let me I'll just stop.
Like a lie.
We decided to continue. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the only thing that's about Shang-Chi is that it's unfair to compare it to the other ones is because it is new. It's a new character. You're getting new information.
But
versus like same old stuff.
But it's like at the same time, like that's what it was, right? Like that's what Marvel has done is they've introduced new characters, right? Like over and over and over again. But I just feel like this one, it does it the same way that they all do it. You know, so in that way, it just feels familiar to me. You know,
so is that why you think Eternals it was not as good because they didn't use that same formula?
So I think my personal thoughts on Eternals differ from the mainstream, but I think Eternals is a really good story that just is told really poorly.
The way they wrote it, though,
it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit the flow of it. It's like all of a sudden you're like going down this river and then you hit this dam.
Yeah, like I think
called the Eternals.
Well, I think the problem is like all that narrative history of the Eternals and the Celestials and all that stuff that they kind of give you like fucking like an hour and a half into the movie. That's the only part that makes the movie interesting. But I wonder if they would have taken that part and put it at the beginning, if you wouldn't look at that movie differently.
I think they should have gave you pieces of that through every Marvel movie.
Or
not that it's leading up to something, but just like you just got it as a part of like a piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, Robert, I did have
how it fit in.
I did have a question for you now that you're back.
Yes.
I'm going to describe a character, and then you try to say it or guess it.
Thor.
All right.
Thor.
No. Okay. So I'm just going to describe things about it, and then as soon as you picture it in your mind, then you say it. Okay.
Hong Kong Kung Fu.
A gorilla that's larger than usual, and he lives on an island.
King Kong.
King what?
King Kong.
How come King Kong gets the Kong treatment, but Hong Kong doesn't?
King Kong does a Hong Kong Kung Fu movie.
Hong Kong.
Dude, Hong Kong King Kong. Hong Kong King Kong.
All right. But yeah, I do think, I don't know. I feel like Shang-Chi feels like a part of it, you know, in a way that's distinctly different than Eternals or even so like the new character that Doctor Strange introduced into the female character. I don't even fucking remember her name.
Okay, but let me say this. Let me ask you this though about while you're talking about that, where is in the whole movie, other than like his own little personal thing about his dad, what are the ramifications to the greater world about what's going on?
His dad.
You know?
No. It's not about the ramifications. Well, I mean, the ramifications are the rings, right? And what the rings could mean for that world. But like,
what do they mean? They don't do anything. No, it's just a little whip that's magnetized.
But that's the thing is that like not every Marvel character introduction needs to be fucking Infinity War. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's good to just have this little momentary story that's isolated to this small group of characters and doesn't need to be extrapolated onto this grand stage where the whole fucking like most of these Marvel characters, the reason why they have villains that are kind of specific to them is because if they didn't, like the Avengers would mop the floor with most of their villains like in a second. You know what I mean?
So who's the villain in Shang-Chi?
Why do you keep saying Shang?
The same reason why it says Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, but Shang-Chi.
So that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm. It's like the
Shang-Chi, not Shang-Chi.
It's like what's nuts about that is that in Mortal Kombat then it's Shang Tsung. That shit doesn't feel right.
Who is the bad guy in Shang-Chi?
The father.
It was the dad, yeah.
But he's not.
Well, but that's
You know?
but that right. I do know, but like, I feel like that's debating something totally different than whether or not it feels like a part of the Marvel universe.
I don't see it doesn't tie into anything, and there's no they don't. The only way they're going to tie it in is like just incidentally.
What does Iron Man 2 tie into?
Iron Man 2. Well, that's more Tony's development as a character. So they need to do another.
But that's what I would say is that this is about introducing this character that's going to play a larger part in the future. And I think they did I don't think they did a great job, but I think they did as much a good job with this as they do with most of their products.
You're right. I mean, if he opens up like a carpet shampooing store and somebody sends him some real dirty rugs and he's got to whip the dust out of them, man, he's the guy for the job. He can whip the dust out of those rugs.
With those ring whips.
That's all he's good for.
But I feel like I don't feel like you're judging him fairly. I feel like you could, and I think that comes from a lack of familiarity with him. And same for me, because I'm not super familiar with the character. But like,
right.
But I think that like. It's easy to make this stuff look stupid when you don't know shit about it. Like,
but that's I think we can agree on this. You take their presentation at face value. This is almost, we are not looking at it through our comic related glasses. We're just looking at what they're giving us.
Right. But what I'm saying is that like
what?
you can't separate it because like
what?
all I know is that so Laura
because like what? Yeah.
Laura's not reading any of the comics.
I don't want to watch everything through goggles and glasses and everything else. I just want to watch
goggles?
it. No, anything.
But did Shang-Chi feel any like sillier or goofier in terms of the idea of a character than Thor?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so either. Like I think they're equally stupid. Right, it's just that like, you know, but I don't mean that in like a anti-Marvel way. Like I think that
ridiculous, maybe not stupid, just like
whatever. Yeah. I think that if we grew up with Shang-Chi and we didn't grow up with Thor, and then we watched our first Thor movie a couple years ago, you'd be talking about how he beat a blanket with a hammer.
I don't know. All I know is like for years, and maybe it's because of the exposure to the comics, like you're saying, I've always wanted to see live action Asgard.
Right.
And I feel like he pulled it off.
Well, that's the point. That's what I'm saying. Because you're already invested in that.
Shangri Hong Kong is just trash.
I don't think so. I don't think that's fair. What else do you have on your nerd week?
Okay, let's go with the next. Can we talk about what I got this week?
Yeah.
Can we do that in nerd weeks?
Well, it's kind of like it's a very free form of expression.
Oh my God! Speaking of which, your major NRR low point. I think you need to have a low point episode, like at the turn of the year, like the worst parts of the show.
Oh my God!
Airport experiences, really?
Oh, I mean, a lot of people chimed in about that.
That was the worst.
Well, especially look at people that doesn't Chris still travel a lot?
Yeah, Joe and Chris.
Has a legit
Chris
opinion.
Travels a lot, yeah.
But you don't want to hear about your airport travel.
You have a weird way of saying we when you really mean you.
Just say I don't want to hear about
we. Ooh, who wants? Yeah, talk to me about your TSA experience. God, what do you do? Really? You go to the the guy on the curb. You use the guy on the curb. Yeah, I never use the guy on the curb.
He does love.
Oh my God, this is
to
engaging.
Tell everybody about that. Like it's like a Larry David sort of thing. It's a little bit of Larry David sort of thing. Like
I love this guy cap.
He just loves it. He gets very excited. He
I do
thinks everybody should know about it. I also think it's the way to go, but I don't feel like I need to preach it to the rest of the world. Like I'm actually glad less people know about it, right? So that it's very easy for me anytime I want to use it. But he wants to tell everybody.
This comes up every time because I'm like, we should tell more people about it. And she's like, or maybe we shouldn't because then everybody will start using it. And then,
Yeah.
Do you tip the Sky Cap? That's the question.
Of course.
Sure.
And well.
Very generously.
I want to know what's well.
I don't want to.
I need to hear it. What's well, man? What do you mean? You said well.
Because your well is different than my well.
Like $5 a bag. Like $5.
Yeah, I think $5 a bag. I think $5 a bag is fine. I think that's appropriate.
So I usually do $5 a bag, and then I give like a tip to that. To me, like the $5 a bag is like the payment, And then
Just
I
the
tip,
cost of doing
yeah,
business.
and then I usually tip, and like then Robert's gonna make me feel ridiculous because he spends that at fucking
$1.
Then I put probably 10, 20 on top, depending on the moment. But like
That's what you do. That's good. That's good.
Okay.
I approve.
He
all right.
approves.
No, that's good.
Not of your pizza, but of your Sky Cat
Yeah.
tipping. There you go.
Come on now.
What
I
else-
don't dish your crabs, but I can dish your pizza.
What else? You were going to tell us something before you wanted to bring up the worst moments of Nerd Rage Radio.
This is the airport thing. I don't remember the rest.
No, you were going to tell
say
us something about
else
your
entirely.
nerd week. You had something
Oh,
else.
okay. So I got in the Magic Square Optimus Prime 2.0, and I don't know. I don't know how my voiced opinions affect your opinion. I know they may. Not in the way, like, I don't intend to have an effect, but I feel like if I say it's great, you say you hate it. If I say it's crap, you say you like it. Not because you
That's
want to
not
be a
true.
contrarian.
That's not true, Robert. Robert,
No,
it's
it's
not
because
true.
you've been told something is bad, so you look for the value in it, like that.
There's plenty of times where like I completely agree with you. Actually, to a point where like they drag me in the streets because of it.
like Unicron. You're gonna break it. I'm gonna break it. So, yeah, this thing. I mean, I can't. I'm really interested to see the verses because I don't see how this beats the New Age, and this is months and months and months after the New Age. I don't see it. I mean, it's cleaner, but just as in Magic Square tends to be cleaner than New Age, but to me, silhouette is more important than the internal details. That's why I like my Takara Sunstreaker 2.0, whatever. I like that one so much, even though it's a mess when you really look at the details. But overall, the articulation of silhouette is better, so I think it displays better. But so this thing just looks cheap. And and it's like you can tell they're going to come out with a quote unquote metallic version that's actually painted. This thing looks like it's Jolly Ranchers. It's like cheap
Well,
plastic.
that's kind of my issue with them in general.
Yeah.
Is that they look they look like gumball toys. You know what I mean? Like I know they're not, but it looks like something that people get so it looks like you put a fucking nickel into and spin the fucking thing and then out pops your fucking Sunstreaker. You know what I mean? And it's like I know they're more intricate than that, and I know there's more that goes into them than that, but that's not how it looks. It looks cheap a lot of times, even though it isn't. That's my issue with Magic Square overall, is that they present worse than what they actually are.
I feel like it's almost like unfair to compare this with the New Age. It's almost like the verses should be with the version 1 Prime, because that looks better in my opinion. But anyway, what else? I got the Iron Factory Lockdown. I had been excited about that figure. It photographs really well, but in person, I feel it's a little dumpy and not as solid as I thought it was going to be. We'll see what you think. I was wondering, do you want me to send you another samurai figure to stand with it? Or
Nah.
Okay. I'll just stand it next to my Stunticon Hasbro.
I have a
Get
Tarn.
rid of that thing. Oh my god.
I have a Tarn that I stand next to.
Yeah, that samurai aesthetic is so unique. By the way, you love that samurai Grimlock.
Yeah, it looks great.
What about the dino arms?
Yeah, I mentioned that too. They're too, like, somebody brought them down. Do you know what I mean?
Useless.
Yeah. Well, I mean, T-Rex arms are useless in general, aren't
That's
they?
true. Very.
Unless they were swept backwards and they were actually wings, like a chicken.
No.
I think they'd probably still be useless as wings. This is a huge animal.
Unless you got a gliding
You know what I mean?
T-Rex coming at you from a height. It's over, Anakin. I have a high ground.
Oh, high ground doesn't mean shit.
And then I got that sling shoot. I don't know what company that is.
Is that for your balls?
Oh, that's
What company is that?
I don't know, but that's
Studios.
the new aerial bots, right?
Oh, hold on, let me look right now. Hold on, I'm gonna grab the box. I'm not going anywhere. Just scooting away for a second.
Oh, he's gone forever.
Get the box. I'll pull a Bobby and just slam it out of the box.
In a long-term format with him, I've forgotten how kind of all over the place he can be.
Yeah, it's like raining in.
Yeah.
This is
You have to tell them to say the rest
Dream
of the third
Star
week
toys.
for next time. Dream Star?
Dream Star Toys, Sling Shoot.
Okay.
Doesn't look like Slingshot at all. I don't know why. Like, look, guys, you gotta at least you gotta go with a head sculpt. Your Slingshot has a very unique head sculpt. You know, it looks like a collector with two little displays glued to his head. You know,
Is it a Legends figure too?
no, it's an MP.
MP.
It's big. It's big. It's painted. It's covered in paint. Highly articulated. Nice heft. Not a Fans Toys heft.
Dude, you haven't sent
also-
that yet?
It's in the box right here. I gotta go tomorrow. I got freaking inundated today.
I gotta tell you, man, it's gonna be rough.
Listen, I'm gonna FedEx it.
'Cause I'm
tomorrow.
leaving.
You'll
I'm leaving
get
next
it.
week. I'm leaving next week.
Where are you going?
Out of town.
Out of town.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just head to a little vacation.
You just went to Cali.
Yeah, a little family vacation.
Damn, this Patreon's doing good.
Bobby and Laura's new thing is to take as many vacations as is in the
You
year.
should.
So they're on 22 this year.
No, we're staying somewhere for free. So
We are doing something wrong, Jisk. You see this?
Oh, Robert, don't even.
Holy crap.
Robert, you flush more money. You probably accidentally, for real, flushed more money down the toilet than we'll spend on this trip.
Oh, please. You going to your dad's?
Yeah,
Oh, that's nice.
we'll see.
We'll recap on that.
We'll see.
Why not? What's wrong?
We'll catch you up.
What's
No,
wrong with your dad?
is it-
We'll catch you up on that.
Did you have anything else for your nerd week, Robert?
Why are we avoiding the vacation at Father's?
We're not avoiding. We're going. You know, I just like, you know,
Father.
Father? Yes, Bobby.
yeah. I just, you know, we're just, you know, he's a challenging person now to be around for any real extended period of time. You know, or he
How
can
so?
be. He can be. I don't know.
Is he judging you?
No, because it's weird, and I don't really.
Yeah,
talk about
I don't think
right
this is
now.
I don't think this is the right
To be honest with
time
you,
and place for this.
I would be happy to discuss this with you when we get back and see how it was. You know,
You should call him. You should just call him Anakin.
because he has the high ground.
Just call him Anakin. He's your dad. Like, I'm gonna call you Anakin, Dad.
No,
What else? So yeah, the sling shoot is pretty. The only thing against it is the detail. It's extremely detailed. It's a plus, but at the same time, you get the Bayverse mess. But I can't wait to see the larger picture of the combined mode. You know, and I know you know the Jisk and Bobby, they crap all over my love for Kang toys. But
I believe
look
it's
so bad.
I believe it's Kong toys.
Kang
Dude, that video that you sent today, I'm just like, Robert, this looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks awful, man. Like
It looks like a Pokemon.
That's a Zoid.
Pokemon.
A Zord.
Or yeah, it doesn't look good, dude.
I think they are hyper exaggerating the
wrong
just the
things.
aggressive
The wrong thing.
visuals. They are just trying to make them look aggressive, and I think that's good for Predaking. And I hope I have faith.
But in what world? I mean, if you're just having a one-off, aren't you? I guess that's what it comes down to.
It's not a
What
one.
kind of collection are you building?
It's going to display beautifully along with this Dream Star Superion.
Well, and
The
I think also
Superion's
is like Robert's
also
in a different space, right? Because Robert is just buying Transformers or transforming robots, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Like,
No,
yes, like I mean, that is what you
I
buy.
buy Ace Toys.
That is what you collect. So it's like it makes sense for you to kind of have this one-off, weird-looking, like out-of-world representation of Predaking that I don't even think out-of-worldly looks right. I think it's a proportion issue. Kind of the head gets lost in the pile of knives and all that shit. Like, but for a person like myself, that's just like I want more than just Transformers. That like it. I feel like my collection has to be more focused in order to allow for the representations of everybody, whereas you're a little bit more free in that space, but then you trade it in for not having a fucking Batman or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't need a representation of everybody. But I think part of Predaking is you can lose his head. I know that sounds crazy, but I feel like in the animation model, you frequently did not see his fucking face.
But why are you
He didn't
buying
have a
this thing?
face.
Is it just did you just want like a properly MP scaled Predaking, and this is just
Yeah.
what came out first? Is that what it is?
I would say yes at the end of the day.
He just
and I'm
likes
okay.
Transformers. Like he just
No,
he's you're Matthew Deluxe Baldwin with money.
No. No, don't say that.
Oh, dude, you're investing in regret.
If you looked at my office versus your basement, you're the Matthew.
No, but it's like, but I don't mean that in terms of volume.
Just that your like passion and your love for Transformers themselves.
Yeah, it's like that the sun rises and sets there. So like you like this Predaking as much as you like a G1 or as much as you like whatever, but you have this also this like look down your nose thing at like Hasbro, so you would never get like the Hasbro one.
No.
Exactly. So
but they're to me, in my opinion, they are highlighting what I feel Predaking can be exaggerated with, and it's with the
knives,
aggressive angles, the lines. Yeah. Make them super aggressive and pointy and wild.
Oh, they did that. And
then the Superion is super techy, and just metallic looking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Anyway, you're not going to trick me, Copper.
I'm not trying to trick you. I think that you're probably perfectly happy with them because this is what you like. You thought you could extrapolate this to include Gundam, and you couldn't. Because it's just the truth. You love fucking Transformers, and that's okay. But like, you don't need to come up with reasons as to why this one's good or not. It's like
Transformers and Dragon Ball Z.
Well, no, that show he didn't give a fuck about that show. But
I'm
like,
done.
It's just this is what you love, and like you're okay if it's completely weird and out of control. Because it's still tied into that thing that you love, and Gundam isn't, and you learned that, I don't know, 2 trash bags later.
The challenge there, though, is it still has to display well. That's why I need the 2 of those sets together. They're going to be their own display.
Oh, yeah, okay, I got you. Right, yeah, that makes sense.
But, yeah, I don't know what to do with the Gundam, right? Like, I don't have any more Gundam.
You don't like it. You don't like it.
It's time to say goodbye.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Give it to someone else to love.
I have Gundam I've assembled that are pretty intricate.
Yeah, send it. Send it to somebody.
I don't know what to do with them.
There's plenty of
Bobby. Send them to Jisk.
Yeah, send them to Jisk.
Bobby, do you have
Jisk's house is the fucking wasteland. It's like everybody we just. That's like
honestly.
The 4 Dummies thing is we just send the toys we don't want to Jisk's house.
Oh, dude, yeah. We got a closet full of toys down in Florida.
Bobby, that Springer, send it right to Jisk.
I know.
I don't want it.
With scratch. Now I can even get rid of it. Or I got to deal with the hassle if I ever wanted to sell it. Like, dude, it's got a scratch on it. This is why.
This is
no, but it's no, but you got an autograph.
That's another thing. I didn't scratch that shoulder.
You did.
I didn't.
When you yanked it out, you scratched it.
Absolutely not.
Did you
Here's
watch
the thing about it. I don't think, Robert, you can prove that Bobby scratched it. But Bobby, I don't think you can prove that you didn't.
So
exactly.
Because I know when you so I did have to monkey paw that arm out of there, but
I rest my case.
Yeah, but nothing sharp. If it's that what I watched that
and
part.
that's not the part that I had to monkey paw anyway. The part that I had to monkey paw was the lower forearm that was like stuck and I couldn't get it free. That shit happened when they put it in, so to speak.
That's debatable.
They assembled that thing in robot mode and then they transformed.
I'll tell you what is the only thing I'll give Bobby for it too, because when the paint does flake off like it's defected a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
There is something weird going on with that thing.
But look, you know what? I would be giving Bobby the benefit of the doubt right now if he had gently pulled that arm out of the cavity.
No, you
but
wouldn't.
He didn't.
No, you wouldn't.
He was like,
you definitely would not give me the benefit of the doubt, regardless. And then, like when you just touch the paint, just more pieces of it just fall off. Like that's not on me. I refuse to take responsibility.
You didn't earn the 11. You did not earn the 11.
I did.
It should have been back to 0.
No, I earned the 11.
You didn't earn it. Send it to Jisk. I don't want that piece of shit.
Now it's on me.
Jisk can have. Now he has a shelf with 2 figures with wonky thighs.
Paint it yourself.
straight at you. Jessica's gonna have to get like the 3D. There's a 3D printed set coming out with replacement shoulders for that thing. Did you know that?
No, but it sounds.
Just should
sounds
just
right.
open a market
Swear to
for
God.
like the toys that you guys have, like, you know, like people would buy that shit. Like, this is the toy that Robert bought, Bobby broke or fucked up, and then shipped to Jisk, and now
It's been living in the wasteland.
It could be
If
yours.
the box was autographed.
Dude, it's like the as seen on TV. It's going to be as reviewed by Bob.
There you go.
And as bought by
purchased
Robert.
by Robert.
As bought by Robert.
And you call your production company Drain the Swamp.
Oh god.
trainwreck.com.
Yeah, we're that.
But I think Bobby needs to autograph the box for every figure he breaks.
You're out of control.
Swear to God, and he won't do it.
No, if you want me to, I'll do it. If you're like, man, I can sell this and it would help me, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Just can.
If he asked me to, I would too.
All right. Anyway.
Anything else on your nerd week, Robert?
Well, you don't want to hear about the real nerdy stuff.
I mean, you told us about Orville. How bad does it get?
And Transformers.
Listen, have you guys heard of?
Lots of
Have you guys heard of?
Laura thinks that Transformers is like the nerdiest shit ever. Like of like all the nerdy shit that I'm into, she finds that to be the nerdiest.
I don't
Ask
know.
me
Star Wars is a
yoga.
tight. I think Star
Really?
Wars can be I think Star Wars can be of a battle. But yeah, Transformers, it's just so intense. People take it so intense.
No, I mean as a
Lame.
franchise, not like yeah. You're shaking your head and like you do. You find it to be like the nerdiest franchise that I'm into.
I think Star Wars is nerdier than Transformers because people don't think I'm Optimus Prime. But you got losers out there being like, I'm Luke Skywalker. I'll fight you with my toy little freaking laser sword.
I don't think.
I
you-
agree that Star Wars is way
What are you
nerdier than
talking about?
Transformers.
What did you say, Jess?
Oh, I agree that Star Wars is way nerdier than Transformers.
Yeah, you don't have
It's the
somebody.
people.
You don't have somebody stepping into their car going honk 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 honk. But you got idiots going in front of an automatic door pretending they're using the Force.
That's me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely you.
nerdier.
And you
all
know
the
how I
time.
know too is because you can get a sticker on the back of your window with how many droids you have in your family.
Oh, you can
Yeah,
get you can
Transformers
get a sticker
stickers.
on the back of your window of little Autobot symbols too.
Oh,
I've seen
whether you're
it.
an Autobot
I've
or
seen
just-
it.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah.
true.
That's terrible, dude. I hope that guy crashes.
I'm not really here to debate it. I just think it's funny that Laura finds it to be the nerdiest. I think they're all equally pretty nerdy.
What about Star Trek?
I mean, that's
The nerdiest of the nerdiest.
Yeah, that's a different breed. This is just a different
That's like
breed.
beat up.
It's
Like
very
you're getting
I think
analytical. They're smarter. You know,
I think anything out there, any franchise that has a made up language that you learn and can really speak it is the nerdiest shit.
so. Look, they're smarter, but they're also more boring. That's like the trade off, right? It's like that those fandoms that like attract those super smart people to them, like the Tolkien and all that, like where it's like people get entrenched in it. Star Trek being one too. They're a smarter breed. They're all super bright people, but they're all fucking dull as fuck to be around. You know, so it's like I think that like Clerks did a pretty good job, right? Where like the kid behind the register is like super into Transformers and like Tolkien and like he's like, you know, all that shit. And when the dude says that there's only one return, it's not of the king, it's of the Jedi, and he fucking throws up all over the place, you know, like and they're like, what happened? I was like, I just told some token nerd that fucking Lord of the Rings sucks, and he threw up all over the place. You
It
know,
doesn't suck. Though.
of course
I
it doesn't
love
suck, but I'm talking about like the type of person that
No, I
really
get
gets
it.
into it.
You get it.
Can I ask you a question, Bobby?
Yeah.
Let's Laura, right? We're in an alternate multiverse, and Laura, you didn't meet Laura, right? And it's a world. where you
Laura's
get
out of
to-
here.
Would you prefer to sleep with either the green alien from Star Trek that Captain Kirk was with, or a Twi'lek?
Guess
So I don't
Twi'lek.
really remember the green alien that Captain Kirk was with, so I had to say the Twi'lek.
This is a hot green girl.
I don't know that either of those answers require Laura to be either in or out of the picture.
Okay, would you sleep with a Twi'lek?
I feel like she could still be around. You can still ask you the question.
Sleep with a Twi'lek.
He just wants Laura out of the picture.
Would you sleep with a Twi'lek, Bobby?
What so I'm looking at the green. No, but I don't know if that's the original. Are you talking about from the 66 or whatever it is, Star Trek, like the olden days?
They're both arguably hot.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going Twi'lek. I'm going Twi'lek.
But what if the curtains match the carpet? What if you were like, you
I'm
pulled
still
those
for
pennies
it.
down and there was some...
I'm more for it.
It's all about the
I'm
experience.
all
more
about
for
it.
it just for the story.
It's a life experience.
Yeah, and it's also like, dude, this whole thing's getting ready to be new.
So you are Aquaman.
I'm worse at the deep.
The deep, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hey, yo!
So if that's the case, I'm going to move on to Laura. Laura, how was your nerd week?
Pretty good, I guess. So I just for my nerd week. Well, we watched this comedy special.
Andrew
today.
Schultz?
Yeah,
It was great.
it was
Certainly worth
inappropriate.
$15.
So inappropriate.
Easily
and
worth for $15.
highly offensive.
What?
But if you can
spent
like,
$15 to watch a comedy special?
Yeah, so here's the story. Andrew Schultz had a comedy special through Netflix. And when he submitted it, Netflix said, you have to change some of these jokes. And he said he took his entire life savings and bought the special back from them and then distributed himself. And I bought it. We bought it, and it was $15 and worth every fucking penny.
yeah,
Worth.
How do you watch it? How did you watch it? Though?
Moment,
It's like a file that you get?
moment, and then
It's like
airplayed it to the.
yeah.
I don't know if there was another way to watch it or not.
I don't think
but
so.
No, he just kind of
Just,
airplayed it.
yeah, airplayed it to streaming. But it was like I don't know. It was funny as fuck. And that $15 that I spent on that, I mean, how much did we spend on Netflix?
$10.59.
So $10.59 was way more valuable to me than 2 months
Okay,
of Netflix.
so here's this story. A couple nights ago, we are going to watch the new Bill Burr comedy special on Netflix,
Yeah.
and it's not working. It's telling us someone else that's in the accounts. Like the kids are not on
Well,
Netflix, and
That's not entirely true. So at first it just stopped working, and then
Yeah,
when
it
we
would,
tried
like,
to
it
get
would-
back into
it
it.
was like-
Then it said the error code.
yeah. So
But
it was like
wasn't. But it was two different.
we watched like almost 2 minutes of it too
Yeah.
the first time. Anyway, it was frustrating, and you know how someone deals with things that are frustrating. It's very intense. So he calls Netflix, because what would you do? He loves to call someone. So he calls. He just loves it. He loves it. This is another Larry David aspect of him. Next thing I know, he's on the phone with Netflix, and I hear this lady, and I'm like, oh my God, she has no idea. And he's like, you have 90 seconds to fix it, or else I'm canceling. And then she starts asking all these questions, and then she tells us, sir, you have the basic plan. And he just loses it. He's like, just cancel it right now and refund me my money. And she was like, okay, sir, and like did it, and that was the end of it. And now we have no Netflix for the first time in like 19 years.
That girl straight up was like,
But it's not really fair, because me and the kids are in the middle of watching something. Jana's in the middle of watching Stranger Things, but he's been trying to get rid of Netflix for like 2 years now. And now he just had a temper tantrum and got rid of Netflix, and the rest of us have to suffer for it.
But
So-
I also think that it's like, it's a fucking, like, I feel like it's a Band-Aid. And we sit and complain about Netflix and complain about Netflix.
I don't think-
you do too.
When do I?
You complain about the increasing of price. You have complained about and all of these things. And
all these things. It's just one thing.
no,
just one thing.
no.
Sounds like a little
I'd like to know what all these other.
No, you've also complained about us not being able to find stuff to watch on there. We were just scrolling and scrolling. I'd be like, look at these things, and I'll even show you like these things. I'll even show you
Look
like
at all these things.
He doesn't have shit to say.
No, that's not true.
No,
And
because
I'll
I have
even
said
show you, like,
whether
look,
we're watching it or
look,
not.
I'll show you like, look what they recommended to us.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have
the
any.
kids are
and it doesn't have
using it.
any recommendation based on anything that we've ever watched that we've ever liked. But they all have that fucking.
Orville?
But they all have that fucking little
Netflix.
red in on it
Yeah.
because that's that's like it's so we ripped the Band-Aid off.
No, you ripped the
And
Band-Aid
it's,
off.
I ripped the Band-Aid off, and it's always
Some
going
of
to.
us weren't ready to. Weren't
That's the thing
scabbed
about
over
a band.
yet.
That's
Some of us
that's
weren't
the-
scabbed
That's
over
the thing
yet.
about a fucking Band-Aid, though, isn't it? Like if you just keep fucking pulling away at it, it's just going to hurt and hurt and hurt. We just get rid of all the hurt all at once. Everybody cry their little hearts out for the week and fucking move on without Netflix.
Dude, there's 40 people, I guarantee you, that will be gladly give you their login credentials.
100.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
I don't want it.
I would take it for Jana because I
Yep,
I do
send it to
feel bad
Jana.
for her.
Took Stranger Things from Jaina? Monster.
But anyway,
So, wait, what about, did you have to return all the CDs?
You've heard the DVD story, right?
That's the moment that it started going wrong.
That's when he says.
This is the moment when it started going
so
wrong.
He only wanted the DVDs. He made us continue paying for the DVDs for forever. And I was like, we've had this DVD for like 6 months, and I just send it back because I'm like, we haven't watched it in 6 months. Let's at least get the next one. So anyway, after this happened for like the fifth time, after like the fifth time in a row, I kept asking him, can I please cancel the DVDs? He said no. I canceled it. Maybe this is his payback for it. I just canceled it. And like 6 months later, he said, oh, we haven't got DVD recently. And I'm like, are you serious right now? So yeah,
that's the moment that company started failing.
2021.
When did you cancel
2021, we canceled the DVDs.
It wasn't 20. It was. She's full of shit. It was not 2021. It wasn't COVID. It wasn't last year, doofy. Like it was like.
Don't call me doofy.
Doofy.
I'm just being dramatic.
had DVDs in 2021.
It wasn't 2021.
It was really close to 2021.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
What's the last DVD you've watched though?
Crying Game.
Spider-Man 3.
Crying Game.
No, we just watched Best in Show. We literally just watched Best in Show and As Good as It Gets and
we watched a lot of DVDs.
Spider-Man 3.
And all of those things that we watched and enjoyed.
All these things.
It's true. All these things, but like, that is funny. But like,
all these things.
But like, we just watched As Good as It Gets. It wasn't available for streaming anywhere for free. And we just watched Best in Show. It wasn't available for streaming anywhere free. And we've already paid for it once, and we owned it, and we could plug and play.
And by
and
free,
we enjoyed
he means
both.
any of the 16 different subscriptions we have.
Correct.
Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu,
Correct.
Disney,
You fucking name
Showtime,
it. Well, not
HBO.
Netflix. Not
You got
Netflix.
Hulu?
Well, we had Netflix at that moment. We had it. We still had it at that moment.
I'd rather pay for Hulu. I'd rather pay for the premium Hulu than get Netflix back.
Yeah, I'm not buying the premium Hulu.
Which is fine.
I'm putting my foot down.
I'm okay with that too. I'm not here boasting for it. I'd rather pay for
Yeah, but you keep dropping that little.
No,
you're like,
no,
I'd
because-
rather
because-
pay for the premium Hulu, and I'm like, I'm not doing it.
No, because it's the argument that matters. Because what I'm saying is I'm happy with Hulu with ads. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
But I'd
but
rather
you've been unhappy with Netflix for a long
time.
right?
And as a person who's been paying into Netflix, as long as many others, they just fired another 300 fucking people from that company. It's a fucking disaster over there.
Well, I mean, it's falling apart, but you just probably sealed someone else's exit ticket.
Yeah, well, make better shit.
Their CDs are always scratched. I'm fed up.
But like,
Oh my God! This guy watched the Batman on CD.
fucking
DVD.
Paramount. Their streaming thing. I'd rather get that. At least it's somebody making content that's worth a fuck.
Most of those things are free with your cell phone provider.
Well, that's how we got Hulu.
Yeah, we have Hulu
Yeah.
through our cell phone.
Bobby uses a landline.
No, that was another battle. Don't get me started on the landline.
Let me hear about the landline.
Shit. Oh,
Because if you like,
in case of an emergency.
In
But
case
the
of an-
problem is he totes that, or he toted. We haven't had one for a couple, like probably
Touted.
3 or 4
She
years
meant
ago.
touted.
Sorry. That like if there was a
Hong Kong,
whatever, what is it when they?
fucking idiot.
Oh, what is it when they? What is the thing where they wipe out all the communication or whatever? The EMT.
EMP.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. He was like, well, then we wouldn't, we would have the landline. But the thing is, the landlines are all like.
I never said it for an EMP.
I feel like you did. I feel like at some point you definitely did. You were like, when cell phones go out.
Yeah,
like what else?
But
Like,
it could just be a cell phone service fails. Like that is a thing.
We got a landline.
It's possible.
well, anyway.
But let me ask you a question. So cell phone service fails and you have the landline. How do you know everybody's number? How do you even know who to
You
call?
only need
one number.
You only need
just
one number.
911.
Correct.
There you go.
Wow.
You got
Well,
it.
you can do that with a dead.
What do you
cell.
call a 911 for?
An emergency.
Yeah.
911. Yes, the world's coming to an end. I need help.
Oh, what I mean, you ain't calling 911.
I mean, I'm not, but I mean, like, the thing is, like, if like, and look, I'm okay with it. I've gotten over it.
Yeah, it took a long time. Their scars are still there.
Well, it has more to do with my hate for
there.
Comcast than it does for. I still think we should have one. I just don't want to do a Comcast. But it's like if Jaina is at school or at a friend's house, if she doesn't have any friends, that she goes hangs out at their house. But if she had a friend,
she doesn't have any friends.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's say that she was there.
Okay.
Let's say she had friends.
She does have friends, and she could go there.
And you're at work, and I'm taking a walk, and Selena and Leia are here, and something were to happen.
Yeah.
What do?
They call on their watches.
Yeah, I mean, now they call on their watches, but when we had the conversation about getting rid of a landline, what do?
They shouldn't have been by themselves because they were really little.
I mean, what did they do 2 years ago? We definitely went for a walk 2 years ago.
Without Jane
They
in
walked
the house?
Yeah, well, she didn't have a phone.
on the door.
2 years ago.
Oh, the iPad? They had Kindles? They had Kindles for Messenger?
You're grasping. What are they going to message 911 on Facebook?
No, but they could call us. No.
I mean, but we're grasping a straw. It's very easy to pick up the phone, 911.
They wouldn't even know what to do with a regular phone.
Because we would have trained them had we had a phone. Is my perspective on that.
How many of you guys have phones? Do you have landlines, either of you?
No.
We
I haven't had one for,
We don't need it.
I don't know,
I'm not a
15
communist.
years.
I'm not a communist. We don't either. But I mean, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's an atrocious idea. And I think what is an atrocious idea is for Netflix to go to streaming and then offer shitty content and then rely on shows that they don't fucking own, like Friends and The fucking Office. And the moment that you take away the shit that they don't own in the first fucking place, but we're making money hand over fist on, and you take those away and you give them back to the proper owners of those materials, and now you're left with fuck anything to fucking sell to people, and then you got to start fucking laying people off by the hundreds because you don't have a fucking product that's worth a fuck.
Stranger Things
is the anomaly.
I feel like Netflix has a decent amount of stuff.
No, it's trash.
I mean, look,
It's
the proof is in the pudding. They've almost laid off 1,000 people this year.
Yeah, they're hurting.
They laid off 700 in the first quarter, and another. No, they laid off 1,000. I think it was.
But
6.
I mean, there's got to be something to be said for being. I mean, they are like the father of.
Yeah, until people were like, "Oh wait, you're making money on my shit. I can just make money on my shit."
Right, but I'm saying like they were the ones with the idea.
But they've had years to make their own shit.
You know what? Netflix puts out shit where they don't give a fuck. Like they don't kowtow to like social pressures almost. Like some of the I can't remember what I'm thinking.
Oh my! Are you kidding me? I mean, with Chappelle, they dug their heels in. But I mean, I feel like they are. Like Chappelle is different though, right? Chappelle has such a strong, passionate fan base that everybody of all walks of life, for the most part, celebrates. That they can stand firm on that one. But I mean, they just told Schultz that he couldn't fucking tell the jokes that he wanted to tell,
which is crazy to me.
They're fucking pudding. Soft.
Oh, you're right, Bobby.
So anyway, I don't know if I have anything else to share for my nerd week or not.
Did you do yoga this week?
No other vintage media?
We watched Thor 4 and 7 years ago.
We did go to the movies, yeah.
Let's hear about it, Laura.
Thor 4. So, I kind of tried to say it a little bit earlier, but I think that I said to Bobby later that afternoon, I was like, I felt like I was watching like a Spaceballs version of Thor. That it was like a spoofy sort of thing, but and it's almost like I feel like if they had just gone all the way that way, not that that's necessarily what I guess a superhero movie needed to be, but it could have been more of like a, I don't know, like that could have just been it. But then they also have some like seriously sensitive, like the opening is super heavy.
Yeah,
you know, Natalie Portman has cancer and is dying, and you're going to meet eternity. Like there's some really heavy things that like it just doesn't it doesn't quite fit because the heavy stuff is actually really good, and the light stuff is, you know, it's stupid and I did laugh and have a good time.
Yeah,
you know? It's like
that's my thing is like
my kids loved it. They loved it. Thank you so much for taking us to see the movie.
I don't think it's great. but I don't think it's any significantly worse than the majority of what Marvel makes.
I liked it better than Doctor Strange.
It's easily better than Doctor Strange.
Who told us? Did Phil tell us it was worse?
I don't know. But like it tells a cohesive story that's fun.
Yeah.
So like at least in that way, it's like, but like I think Natalie Portman does a great job. Mm-hmm. I think Christian Bale does a great job.
Yes.
And then the rest of it is a fucking joke, and the plot of the movie, I'll just give it spoilers, 97, 98. It's stupid. It's stupid as fuck. It's stupid as fuck. So the Christian Bale's character comes to New Asgard and kidnaps children and then takes them away to lure Thor to them so that he can kill Thor there and take
because he's trying to kill all the gods
and take Stormbringer to use as a key to get to eternity, to tell eternity to kill all the gods as his one wish, because eternity in this is a genie, and I don't know if that's accurate to the comics. I feel like it's not.
But I thought this dude can just kill gods.
Well, he has the sword. The sword whatever it is, and that's a comic book thing. But like,
is his sword infused with the original? What do you call it? God damn it!
I don't know.
The Venom thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think in the comics it was more like it was the same thing that makes Venom is like part of this. But no, they didn't go that route. It's like shadow monsters or whatever, but it still works. It works. No, it works fine. It works fine.
You don't think they could have tied Venom in somehow?
I don't think they want to, dude. I think that we
please don't. It's so bad.
It's bad. And we keep thinking about Marvel like it's like this pure, like symbiotic, for lack of a better term, relationship.
Symbiote.
You see what
That's
I did there? Relationship between Sony and Marvel. It's not. It's fucked. It's complicated and it's raw and there's a lot of emotions on both sides and they're both kind of pulling at what they own and what they don't own. It's not a match made in heaven. There's issues there.
But the last Venom movie, he got pulled into the Marvel universe.
I'm not saying that there's not connectivity there. Of course there is. I'm saying that the relationships are at a point where Marvel would rather just change the Venom to shadow creatures because they don't want to have to deal with Sony. I'm saying that relationship is not puppy dogs and rainbows. That relationship is super complicated at best and fucked at worst. Anyway, it's not that. So the idea is he kidnaps the new Asgardian children to lure Thor to him,
lure Thor,
near eternity to kill him, take the Stormbringer, use it as a key to talk to it, and like the thing is just dumb. Like if like just kill Thor on Asgard or New Asgard. Like you don't need to kidnap children. There's elaborate plot to. You don't need to do all this. It's silly.
It's like getting a Sith
especially
dagger.
when he's like already gone and killed a whole bunch of gods. And no problem.
Yeah, and if Thor got the drop on you this time, then just retreat and then get him the next time.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. You kill gods. You don't need to kidnap kids and have the whole like kidnap kids like C. Gutter of Biggie's crew.
Maybe it was just a gut reaction as he escaped. As he was escaping, he just felt like.
I mean, I think it's just a plot device to.
I think he should lure Thor some more.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but at the same time, ultimately, like I think it has the stuff that people like about Marvel movies. I think that my overall, it's just Bobby's crazy till Bobby's right. My thoughts on Marvel have been this: all of the movies are average to good, but they don't have a lot of great. However, they have very few failures. So the average looks better because there's so many goods and greats. But now there's averages and now there's more misses. And with that, the average is now lower. Mm-hmm. So when they have something like Thor 4, which I think if it came out 5 years ago, people would be fucking... Oh, and then it's when he lost his pants. Wasn't that funny, guy? He lost his pants in front of everybody. There's just no pants on. Like, but now people are like, no, wait, this is getting out of control. But it's only that people are seeing it that way now because they've seen more subpar shit. So now you can't.
They've seen more Thor.
So now you can't
than before.
So now you can't get away with the bullshit.
Are they, in your opinion, are these things getting worse just because they're being written and made bad, or you think just everybody's seen enough?
So I did read an article on this that I found interesting, where they said that like a lot of the directors from phases 1 and 2, I think specifically, complained that they didn't get enough creative input and control of the properties. That Marvel Studios was kind of overseeing all the creative elements, and they just had to guide the ship. So now in phase 4, they have made an effort to give more of that creative control to the directors, which is okay as long as you hire directors with the right vision that Marvel Studios has. You know, but when you have Watiti and Raimi and all these, these are just people with very clear ideas of what they want to do. Always, Marvel or no Marvel, they have a very specific vision of the guy who makes Jojo Rabbit doesn't want to be told what to do, clearly. But when you put him in the Marvel sauce, like you kind of got to like get with the fucking program.
Yeah, but Bobby, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How was the score on Thor 4?
So I'll be honest with you. That's
It
another
needed
issue.
more horns.
So that's another issue with it. It's the joke is it lost on me, but it's not fucking memorable. And the reason why is because they rely on Guns N' Roses to get that movie through. And there are scenes in that movie that are awful. Awful. One scene in particular is atrocious. But because November Rain is playing while it's happening, it seems better. Because November Rain makes all things look better. It's just one of those records. It's up there with Purple Rain. It's up there with Man in a Mirror. It's just one of those records.
Yeah.
So the score in Thor 4 needed a little more, even though it had gore.
Yeah. And outside of that,
How was your nerd week, Bobby?
so I mean, I saw Thor 4, and I mean, I haven't really done that much else. We had the Netflix drama. We saw Andrew Schultz, and I highly recommend everybody watch this comedy special. It's great. Was going to watch Bill Burr's special, and I wish Bill Burr the best, but I'm just done with Netflix.
He regrets it, Laura. You can hear it, but he's too stubborn.
No,
to admit it.
I know if there's any bit of him that regrets it, like it would be just that he would like to see that special.
I'm a Bill Burr fan.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, you didn't kill Netflix. I did.
But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I did kind of value or noteworthy.
You had Crab Fest.
No, that wasn't
Weeks ago.
That was weeks ago.
They already covered that.
Yeah.
We already covered that.
So let's just move right into notes. If there's something that pops up, I'll bring it up. So there's not much, and I'm gonna let Jisk speak his piece on Rob Zombie's The Munsters trailer.
Man, where do I begin? It's weird that Rob Zombie's doing it. I mean, I guess it kind of seems appropriate because Rob Zombie's weird, but dude, it's dumb, man. It's dumb. The Munsters is not a thing that you need to see a feature film about.
Okay.
And not in like a campy ass version.
But like, do you want a super serious version of the Munsters?
No, but I mean not like this. It just looks dumb. Like it just looks.
But doesn't the Munsters always look dumb?
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think the Munsters, is dumb. The concept is stupid, but they existed in this tiny little world, which was their house and maybe a local market. I don't need to see them venturing out to all these places.
That's fair.
Herman Munster looks stupid. The costumes look terrible. But
I think they're meant
it doesn't need to be a movie.
I think they're meant to look bad. Like I think they're meant to look like
it's like over the top.
Yeah, and I think Rob Zombie, for all of his bullshit at times, I think that
he does have a love for, I think, the costume and the visual,
and I think he gets the tongue-in-cheek aspect of horror in general.
No, I don't think that he's. I don't know. It just didn't look good. Based on what I saw from the trailer, it was. First of all, it was way too long.
Well, I actually,
I agree with you.
I just watched it right.
I agree with that.
Right before we hopped on here, and Yeah, it was too long, but I was like,
And I was like,
I
God.
literally said to Bobby, like, what am I watching? I was like,
Yeah,
what?
that is
He
it.
didn't say anything. He was like, here, you have to watch this. And I'm like, I don't know how long into it, but I was just like, what is going on here? Whenever that lady is talking, it feels very corny and cheesy. Like,
Yeah.
but there are other parts where you're like, oh, what's going on here? You know?
I think it's
It's
supposed
like-
to be corny and cheesy. Like, I think it's supposed to be fun.
I mean, I'll go see it.
I'm not going to go see it, but
I'll tell you, even the
All right,
original
well,
Human
look
Monster
fun.
in the 60s looked better. This costume looks like shit.
but I think it's
I mean,
meant
it just
doesn't
is. It
look
just looks
fun.
fucking dumb. It doesn't even look like green skin. At least do it in black. They should have done it black and white. It would have been better. It should have at least just been black and white then.
So I wouldn't even be surprised if he wanted to do it in black and white and the studio told him no. I could see that happening. I can imagine a world where that happened. I don't know that, I'm just talking from the hip, but I can see it.
But they
I don't
almost
know,
did
it's like-
the opposite. They went like super like weird neon.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it does. It just looks hyper green. Like it just looks.
He's a wannabe
Fake.
Tim Burton, man.
I don't
Man.
agree with that.
I don't think so.
I don't.
I think Tim Burton would have been a better choice.
I was literally going to say the thing. Tim Burton would have been a better choice if you're going to go this route.
I think
What's the last
whoever did
movie
the
Rob
Addams Family,
Zombie
like,
did? It had to have been like
and he did a bunch of Halloween movies, and I don't know, but
They did
I
a good job when they did the Addams Family way back when. Like that seemed to fit. This just doesn't seem to fit.
Yeah.
I don't know about it trying to fit anything. It just seems out of place for some reason. It seems wrong. That's it. It just seems wrong.
yeah, like thinking about it, I do think that Burton would have had some kind of heart in it, and I'm not sure if I get any kind of heart from this trailer.
kind of playful.
just like wacky.
yeah, having a good time.
Yeah,
I don't think Grandpa should have a mustache.
I think he's got like a full beard, right?
You lost me when you had a mustache.
Honestly, you know what's funny about that? Grandpa looks like the only one who seems right.
So I think that the I don't know the names of the characters, but like the female looks right to me. The Frankenstein guy looks right to me. Not the color of his skin. I can see how that's an issue. Like it's a little too like vibrantly green. But like yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
more
it cuts
optimistic.
back and forth between the black and white, right?
Yeah,
I think it's I don't know.
but it might be like one of these things like we found, this world where we can be in color. Like I can see it going that way.
Oh boy.
What about this Mandalorian?
Are either of you going to see it?
Yes,
Hold on.
I will see it, but not in the theater.
Well, when are you going to watch it on Netflix?
No. So you want to know the cold, harsh truth, Jisk? It probably
hit me with it.
it probably will never come to Netflix.
That's probably true.
Keep paying
That
the
thing's
subscription
streaming
fees.
Straight. That thing's streaming straight to Netflix.
No, like
No,
because
it'll go to Paramount.
It'll go
Plus
to Paramount.
or whatever.
So I would take the kids to
Yeah.
see it if they wanted to see it because I just
I mean
They like to
I'm
go
not
to the
against
movies.
seeing it, but on my own accord.
Punishing them?
Has Rob Zombie ever done a comedy? Like I know he has comedy elements in some of his movies, but like this,
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's the only thing that interests me is to see like, oh, all right, here's this dude not doing like something serious.
something
How does
gory.
that work?
But I think he has
Gory.
comedy
Yeah.
elements to his music. I don't know if he that
Ooh.
and I don't mean
Shots
that.
fired.
No. I don't mean that in a like. I think
Theatrical,
like if you look at like the music video for Dragula, like I think it's a guy that obviously doesn't take it all that serious.
Or I don't think he's a bad director. Like I think his movie, like even his Halloweens and stuff, they're fine. They're not bad.
I agree.
It's just more of the same stuff. But I don't think they're like.
Yeah.
I think
No, I
he
agree.
does a decent job as a director.
I agree. What about this Mandalorian season 3 footage? That's like shot from the armpit or
yeah. I
whatever.
was going to say that was hard to watch.
Because it was from the celebration, I guess. It's just started leaking recently. So I think that's stuff that they go to.
All they need to do for Mandalorian is have Baby Yoda and Mandalorian just
Go on wacky
do what they
adventures.
do.
It's a buddy comedy
yeah,
now.
like it's
Yeah.
just
That's it.
there's like not even any doesn't even need to be any purpose to
So-
it
but
for
I'll-
it to succeed. I feel like
You're probably right. But I'll tell you what did tickle my fan
oh
pickle, as it were.
what
Tickle my fan pickle, as it
oh
were.
god
They obviously go to Mandalore. Because there's like that crushed dome structure, and that's from the Siege of Mandalore, from the Clone Wars stuff. And like going there and trying
All
to
of
make
us
some.
three did not obviously know they went to Mandalore. Did you two know that they obviously went to Mandalore?
No.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Sorry.
Obviously, it was obvious.
I'm nerdier because I'm into Star Wars.
Yeah,
you see,
that's
So,
right. And Transformers
and
together. It's like the
Transformers together for this super nerdy.
double threat.
Yeah.
Double threat.
The nerd factor.
But so I'm curious what that means, if anything. I thought obviously it's shot from a fucking armpit camera phone or whatever.
That guy's head.
But like, it looked more. It did,
An armpit camera phone.
but it did look a little bit more cinematic to me than I feel like a lot of Mandalorian stuff. So I don't know. I'm not optimistic about it necessarily.
You sound a little bit optimistic about it.
You think now they're dumping money into it?
I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're just moving away from that future vision or whatever it is, that shit that they have been filming that shit on for the past 2 seasons. But it just looks like it has a little bit more grandiose.
I mean, it should have a grandiose budget.
It was from
it's making them a fortune.
It was from Celebration, is where they showed it. Was that a Celebration?
Yeah.
Come on.
No DC news.
I'm glad we got to see the trailer from Celebration's standpoint, because they were cheering for like an armpit hair shows on the screen, and they're just like,
yeah, because that was the other thing, is like Babu Frick shows up, like that little creature from episode 9 that like repaired 3PO or whatever, took 3PO apart, whatever it was. You remember that little creature? It was like a little monkey creature.
Yeah.
And like when he popped up, everybody's like, wow, yeah, fucking Babu. It's like, calm down. Calm down.
The dumbest part, I would say the dumbest part of that trailer was the little itty bitty Mandalorian helmet for Grogu. That is so stupid.
Yeah,
it just ruins the whole thing for me. Like, I would love to see Mandalorian take more of an action angle. Like I would love to see, like, the rest of the trailer looked great with the space battles and the drop ship. Yeah. Awesome. But,
baby Yoda can't be a Mandalorian.
Huh?
Well, he chose
Baby
the
Yoda
armor.
can't be a Mandalorian.
I mean, why is the Mandalorian trying to reconcile? Why is he trying to get the approval of the blacksmith and the one heavyset guy? Like, what does he care at this point?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Like, he's going through such lengths, and it just doesn't make sense to me. There's no real reason for him to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's a fair criticism.
I mean, if he was following the religion, he never would have taken his helmet off.
I think that you can find, like, you can dig deep enough to find reasoning and motives for it, but I do think they are thin, to be honest. So let's move on to questions. We got one right away from Al Mack. He says, "Gentlemen, good to you all. Any sign of doing up-to-date room tours?" So I think that's more so intended for Joe and Chris and myself.
I think that's intended for dummies.
For Robert's new collection display.
I think Jisk's is pretty much very equal to where it was the last time we toured.
He's picked up a couple pieces.
He has picked up
recently.
a couple pieces.
I've picked up some new pieces.
Oh, this guy just blew his wad. He asked this question on the wrong show.
No. I'm gonna
Save it.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Nope.
Delete it. It's too much.
Delete
to try to
the
keep
question.
track of.
Okay.
But I would love to
Delete
do
it and
Robert's jersey spot. I would love to.
Yeah, he was supposed to invite us there this summer, but
it didn't happen.
He didn't.
He had too many people fixing fences and something. And I think
hasn't it?
I will do an updated tour of my own as soon as the diorama videos run their course through Patreon. So that's when I can update everybody, because I can't show the stuff before showing it there. But I plan on doing mine. And Joe, as soon as he gets a couple things sorted, he's down to do another tour. And Chris, I haven't spoken to about it, but I will. Paul says, "Hey team, loath as I am to keep a closed topic hanging on life support, I wondered if I may suggest a perception regarding Obi-Wan." Oh boy. As you've said, when Vader asks Obi-Wan if he went to the desolate planet 23 to kill him, I took that as meaning that Obi led him there to a final encounter. I'm not hoping or trying to change your minds, just how I interpreted it. So let me say this. Paul, I think that's the only way that you can interpret it but the point is that you have to take that dialogue and interpret it to make sense. I get the same impression you did, but my opinion is that the writing is not good, and that is the easiest thing to point to as an example, because it's just not appropriate. It's just inappropriate wording. And I agree with you. That's the same way I interpreted it as well. He said, for a more lighthearted question, though, which of the TMNT turtles would you be? Dig deep, you may connect with one of their personalities, or maybe you just like the big stick, so to speak. Hit him with the... Oh, fuck, I'm on the wrong pad. He said, for all you guys...
At a Mario point.
Thanks for all that you do. Here's your flowers, Paul. So that's a good question. Which turtle, Laura?
Would I be?
She's Leonardo.
Yeah, she's Leonardo.
Okay, well, there you go.
You're Raphael.
As a kid, I always collected Michelangelo, though.
Yeah, but
I
you're
actually
not
had.
Michelangelo.
No, I didn't. I
You're
knew I
not.
wasn't. I didn't say I was, but I did. I liked him.
And yes, I agree with Robert that I am Raphael. And
I want to know who
Totally
I want to know who
Michelangelo.
Robert would be. You think I would be Michelangelo?
no, so you know what's
1,000%.
funny? Robert is Michelangelo and Jisk is Donatello.
So I do relate now as I'm older to Donatello.
He's like the techie guy and like he's into gadgets and shit. It is,
Robert.
I feel like I'm the more serious. Like I know Raphael's serious, but Donatello's more like
he's more logically
internally serious. Yeah.
And Robert's
I think I'm
just
in April.
having a good time.
I'm in April. That's weird. That's why we are kind of like the turtles, aren't we?
How about that?
And then, so you asked that question at the right time. All right. So James G, he actually gives a rapid fire. So, but he says, hey gang and cadre of special guest stars. He says, wow, so many episodes and each one I and so many others thank you for. Well, thank you. All my shits and totes or in box still bar the few figures on my dresser. Other than the fact my name's on the mortgage, you wouldn't even know I lived in my house. My collection varies greatly as I've never just had a clear collector's path or outcome I've wanted to achieve. He has Gundams, 40K, Star Wars.
What a loser.
He says, I have a lot of crap from all price ranges and qualities is what I'm getting at. Anyways,
Matt?
no, we're remodeling a touch, and I'm going to have a display space for the first time since I was single 17 years ago.
That's awesome.
If you had to do it over again, what would be the first piece of display furniture you would buy? I know Billies were a big thing. Bobby and Joe have Magic cases. Also, with you all being pet owners, R.I.P. Smeagol, what do you do to prevent tail knockovers, nibbling, and the such? And sorry for the long-awaited rapid fire. We'll get to that in a minute. I still think that Billies are a really good way. It depends on which, like if Magic cases are a very good thing, but they're a very specific tool for a very specific job, and you can't put just anything in them. You know,
Yeah, I think getting a Magic case is something where you have the stuff and now you buy the furniture. It seems weird to go. I think because they're so customizable, it seems
Well,
weird.
it sounds
to
like
go
he has
Magic
the
case
stuff.
first.
It sounds like he has the stuff, but maybe not statues really so much. Well,
or maybe
Hard to
the
say.
range is all over the place. He has
Yeah.
mythos statues. He said, like,
so, and I think that the trick too. I mean, obviously, there's lots of Billies out there, but I think that
Look at these questions.
should-
It's almost as if they knew they were
It's
going to
the
be speaking to
universe.
it's the universe.
It's the universe. I think it's nice to have a mixture, right? Like, I don't think it looks great to have 17
I agree.
Billies in
I
a
agree.
row. You know, I don't like. You need some pictures, and you need some, detox, and you need some. What are the other things called? The
Calyx.
calyx, and then the
Bestas.
bestas, and like. I
Variety.
guess you have to think about how you want to display them.
It needs variety, and it needs, but it needs variety, but it also needs to feel cohesive. It needs to feel purposeful. Like, the shit needs to match.
Yeah. So I think I would start with, if you have that many different things, like maybe like what are the things that are most important to me that I want to see all the time, and kind of see what they would work in. And then if that seems to allow you more space, then I would go on to like my next tier of stuff kind of thing, you know, because the stuff takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. You got.
Does anybody else have anything else?
Yes.
Robert said lots of floating shelves. And of course, you should have some fishing line in there for me, hanging something from the ceiling.
That's Laura's gig.
That's what I just said. I said floating shelves for you and fishing line for me.
No, I think you should. The Detolf is the most versatile display piece. You can cram a lot of things.
They don't look good.
Yeah, they're also very specific. They're very specific.
There's other cabinets that are Detolf-esque, tall and rectangular like that look better than a Detolf.
Listen, Jisk is playing you right now because we all agree that Detolfs are the best, and we don't want anyone else to have them. So the whole purpose of doing 4 Dummies was to get people to drop their Detolfs so that we could have
an elaborate scheme.
Yes, Detolfs are the way to go for everything. You got little figures, put them all
They're
on one
absolutely
Detolf
not.
sheet.
Don't listen.
You can
to
lay a Detolf.
figures?
You can lay a Detolf sideways and just fill it.
Put your hamster in there.
Put your hamster in there.
Oh, and then tails. It's funny, the tails thing, because we may get a taste of the tail test.
Yeah.
Maybe get
Shout out to getting a taste of some tail.
All right. Do you want to do these rapid fire? It might be difficult.
Yeah,
No, I do want it because that's part of his question about the tails. Like, we haven't really had to deal with the tails with this current setup, but I will tell you, if we had Bam and Smee, like, the tails would be a problem. Yeah. Like, especially like now, like right now, I'm looking at that DC shelf and I'm imagining that second shelf up and that bully tail knocking all of it over, and it gives me anxiety. So I think honestly, the animal, if it, it might not be able to be in there.
Yeah.
Maybe the issue isn't your animal. The issue is the owner, because I got some crazy pets, but they don't mess up my shelves.
Not a dog though.
Yeah, but a pit tail is like a.
Oh, you could train your dog.
Not to wag its tail.
To not wag its tail?
You could train your dog not to wag its goddamn tail in your toys.
Oh, my God.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Disney World, amusement park, or local fair, which ride do you get on first? Roller coaster.
Wait, what? Oh. I don't understand what you're asking.
Amusement park, which ride do you get on first? It's rapid fire.
I know.
No time for understanding.
I'm not very rapid.
So you have to list the ride, but I guess I'm not understanding. You're just saying roller coaster is what you get on first?
Yes. Like I'm getting on the most popular roller coaster to get it out of the way.
So I'm probably with Bobby and I'm doing that, but otherwise I'm going for the log flume.
Whatever's the first thing that I come across.
Robert?
I want the that ride, they have a different name for it everywhere, where it goes in a circle on like a hill and up and down and up and down. It plays really loud music, and Tilt-A-Whirl makes you nauseous and goes backwards and forwards.
Of course you love that.
Said,
I put my mother-in-law.
You looked at me and you said, "This is
was.
Rapid fire. This is the wrong set of questions to ask me. I'm not a rapid."
All right, so breakfast for dinner or leftovers for breakfast? Breakfast for dinner.
Leftovers for breakfast.
Breakfast for dinner.
Your leftovers for breakfast?
Yeah, I did. I ate a fillet the other day for breakfast. So I was like, I'm gonna eat this.
Yes,
you are a madman.
No, leftovers for breakfast. I'm with you, Jisk. You're right.
You don't enjoy breakfast for dinner?
No, I do. But if I would. You would choose. I would eat leftovers for breakfast.
I guess I don't.
I would eat
in rapid fire. Maybe we don't discuss everyone's answer too, huh?
You're transported to Middle Earth. Besides man, what race do you choose?
Ooh.
So
I don't even know what other races there are.
Elf.
So elf sounds like the right answer, but like it's probably the furthest thing from me.
Yeah, I would definitely
dwarf.
choose elf.
Yeah, I would probably be closer to a dwarf.
I think I like the dwarfs. They're into some gold and kind of crusty. I'm for that.
I'm for that. I would like to be a wizard. Robert?
I think I'd be a Balrog.
You're an orc.
I'm an Urukai.
Longest home project procrastinated on?
Oh, dude.
Granite counters.
Damn.
Backsplash.
Good one.
the display shelves count? Because then I'm talking 10 years.
That's a good one, Robert. That's good.
All right, this is rapid fire. Come on.
Oh,
Out with
are
it.
you me?
Yeah, come on.
I'm talking about the hole I left in the mudroom wall
right.
after the plumber came.
Least favorite character of your favorite franchise?
Rapid fire.
Yeah. So my initial thought, and it's funny. There's some psychological shit to break down. My initial thought was Jar Jar Binks. That was the first thing that came to my head. Rapid fire.
No, don't look at me. They're here too.
Yeah, I'm saying it to everybody.
Okay.
I can't look at them.
The frizzy-haired mechanic from The Mandalorian. Whatever her name is. Just
No,
garbage.
dude, that's valid. Totally valid. Just
on a Trailbreaker.
dude, there's fucking 42 of these questions.
All right, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. Trailbreaker, that's funny.
Downward dog pose from yoga.
You're a henchman. Are you a tech guy, ninja, super soldier, etc.? I'm a ninja.
I want to be a ninja.
Tech guy.
All right. Hot or cold cereal? Cold.
I didn't go, but that's okay.
Cold.
Yeah, that's why it's rapid fire. We got to move. There's 40 some of these
Cold.
questions. Cold. All right.
Spit it
Cold.
out. Spit it out.
All right. Sausage, links or patties? Links.
Ooh.
Links.
Oh, links, but I like both.
You've been taken hostage. The cast of the last thing you watched has to save you. Andrew Schultz has to save.
Orville, I am so good.
Just
Peaky Blinders.
no, you guys are all
You
right.
good?
Peaky Blinders.
Andrew
We're
Schultz.
gonna be okay.
Andrew Schultz ain't gonna say
He's a
shit.
skinny little guy.
More useless trooper, AIM or Hydra? AIM.
I'm gonna say
Who's AIM?
AIM, like the yellow suit people.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
give
with
me
the
Hydra.
AIM.
Young, dumb, and full of C. Could you fight your dad in your teens? Hypothetically, I know you're all on good terms. So I thought I could. I think in hindsight he probably would have hurt me.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I stepped to my dad in my teens. It didn't work out for me.
There you go. Throwing a party. First song on your playlist to set the vibe. Welcome to the party. Pop Smoke. Come on. Come on.
Girls just want to have fun.
Girls
Jump around. House of Pain.
Black Eyed Peas. Tonight's going to be a good night. I don't know.
That makes sense. All right. Least favorite chore you try to push on your spouse.
Bathrooms. He doesn't hear it though.
Dishes.
Dishes. I'm with dishes.
Yeah, dishes. Favorite Cobra Viper class. It's the regular Viper, like with the full face shield.
No idea.
Ezekiel.
All right, Transformer partners. What would you be? Target Master, Headmaster, Power Master, annoying kid that gets into bad situations on every episode. I'd be a Target Master because I don't want to be a Headmaster.
I'd be the headmaster. I'm offered being the headmaster.
I know which one Laura would be.
Oh, no.
Most lost accessory in your collection. Hands. So it would be guns.
Yeah, guns. Knives.
Eyes.
Workplace birthdays. Cake or pizza?
Pizza.
Ooh,
Pizza. Always pizza.
Pizza.
Favorite city bot? Triptychon.
Metroplex.
Scorponut.
You can move one character from DC to Marvel or vice versa. Who is it?
Man, bring him the Marvel.
I would probably move Wolverine to DC, but it seems weird. I don't know. I don't really want to. I don't really want to.
Is there a healing factor in DC?
Can they hear me?
I don't know. Early new wave proto. Early new wave / proto emo. Depeche Mode or The Cure. Depeche Mode.
Ooh,
Depeche Mode.
I love The Cure. I'm going to go for The Cure. I love Depeche Mode too, but I'm going to do Cure.
Friday, I'm in love.
I'm going to go for the Cure, too.
Thank you, Jess.
Favorite fast food chain. Chick-fil-A.
McDonald's.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, unless Chipotle
McDonald's.
counts. Does Chipotle count?
I don't think so.
No, that's like
Yeah, it's
second tier.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say Chick-fil-A.
Laura's like, does Salad Works count?
Kava actually would be, yeah. Go
It's not.
ahead. Right.
Your first pet. I mean, technically, I guess it was like wasn't. I guess technically,
Max.
my first pet was Alabama.
Oh, my first pet's name was Max. It was a mutt.
Mine was a nasty calico named Bubblegum. Or a parakeet named Mickey.
Mine was a hamster named Corey.
Of course it was.
Rectal Avenger.
Side dish: mashed potatoes and gravy or mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
Favorite giant robot? Dead End, I guess. Dead End or Grimlock. Anybody else?
Mecha Godzilla.
Oh, Mecha Godzilla.
Omega Supreme.
If faces and heels applied to the workplace, which would you be? I don't know what that means.
If what?
Feces and heels?
No, faces and heels. It might be something.
What does that mean?
It's like faces and heels, and the F and the H are capitalized, like it means something. I don't know.
Well.
We may not know the reference.
I choose faces.
I say heels.
Hollywood makes a movie on your life. Who plays you? Bill Burr.
Juliette Lewis.
Robert.
John Candy.
Danny DeVito.
For NES game, first NES game ever beaten.
Oh, Zelda.
I don't know.
Mario.
Yeah, I want to say Mario.
I would guess Mario, but I don't even. Yeah.
Favorite cover song: Marilyn Manson, "Tainted Love." Is the first one that
Wait,
came
say
to
that
mind.
again?
Favorite cover song.
Yeah,
Rapid
this
fire.
is a-
Rapid
I
fire.
know, we're
Limp
not good at
Bizkit's
this.
Faith.
Oh, God. Shrek, loser, whatever.
Your cowboy name. It doesn't work because it was for Chris and Joe. Console wars: N64 or PlayStation?
N64.
N64.
Ooh, yeah, N64 over the first PlayStation.
So, I think that at the time PlayStation seemed like the cooler choice, but I think history has proven that it was the wrong one. Mario and
But
Luigi.
PS2 all day, just to add that on there.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi or Sonic and Tails? Mario and Luigi.
Mario and Luigi.
Luigi Mario.
Yeah, peeing in the shower: taboo or common practice? So,
Common practice. It's both.
Question is, do you waffle stomp?
so it's a tab. It's a
I don't know
tab.
what that
Bobby does not.
I did not do
A
it.
waffle stomp is when you take a shit and you stomp
No,
it down
never.
the drain.
No,
Never.
no one does
Never.
that ever. Don't
Never,
talk about
dude.
that.
Comfort.
That'll get you banned.
Comfort show activity or food to unwind from a rough day? Drinking.
Oh, yeah, wine,
Drinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Food.
wine and pizza.
Wine and
Pizza's the
pizza.
good
That's the
one, yeah.
move. Lotto
I think
winnings.
a-
Ice cream.
Lotto winnings. Rich and famous or rich and anonymous?
Rich and anonymous.
Rich and anonymous.
Rich and famous.
Yeah, of course you are.
I'm making motherfuckers super mad at me then. One pair of shoes for the rest of your life.
No. Whatever. Yeah,
Yes.
whatever the or is.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose something, it would probably be Yeezy 350s just because they're super comfortable.
Horse.
But it's not what I would want to wear for the rest of my life.
Oh, which shoe would we pick?
yeah.
Man, the Adidas NMDs are really comfortable.
There you go. Tabletop board
I'm
games.
going to say Air Max.
Okay.
Air Max.
Tabletop
Max
board
F1.
games or video games? Video games.
Tabletop.
Video games.
Video games.
Preferred dinner bread. Rolls or biscuits?
Rolls.
Rolls.
Italian bread.
If you could do only one, shop online or in store? In store.
Online.
Oh,
Online.
online only because of the convenience of it.
Food. Chinese or
Bobby wants the...
I like the experience. I like to be in
No,
there.
I
I
mean,
like to
I
try
do
shit
too.
on. I like
You
to.
I do
wanna-
too. But go ahead.
You need those flex points.
You
No,
have,
no,
you
I
have
just-
you just have access to so much less
Yeah.
in the store.
Food. Chinese or Mexican?
Mexican.
Chinese.
Mexican.
Mexican.
Most underwhelming purchase of 2022. I don't.
Patreon.
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Every month.
Best theme song, any show or movie? Dukes of Hazzard or Three's Company? Oh no, I'm sorry.
Ooh, Three's Company.
Yeah, Three's Company. Three's Company.
Three's Company.
You're trapped in a video game, got to win to get out. What style of game? Role playing game, first person shooter, fighting game, racing game.
Oh, fighting or racing?
Yeah, I'm gonna take fighting.
Role playing.
First person shooter.
Okay. All right. So John S writes in, I was originally hyped to see the new Flash movie, but now I'm worried about the project being left behind in the dust with the allegations against Ezra Miller steadily coming. What do you think will happen to the movie? I want to see Michael Keaton Batman return to the screen as much as the next guy, but is it worth having a movie with Ezra Miller? So I'm pretty good at separating the art and the artist. That being said, I don't think Warner Brothers is, so I have serious doubts as to whether or not that movie will ever come out.
I think it just depends on how far along it is. Like, how much have they dumped to it? Like, is it enough to, or is it enough to cut your losses?
They could just pull in the WB Flash. He's freaking great. He's a little too nerdy and nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
But at least he's not nebbishy.
You think you're going to reshoot everything?
Did I do that? Did I commit a crime? Oh my God, did I get caught? Oh my God.
I think Ezra Miller is weird enough that like people would just they'll let it slide. I think people would let it slide.
He's trash.
This is totally random and going back to James G's question about the tales. No, I know we're running out of time. But if you put on the shelf...
I don't think that's...
No, really. Like the books or something on that shelf that the tales would hit,
then
it's safe. Yeah. There you go.
Luke writes in, love and blunder. Greetings. Hope everyone across the Skullface spectrum is doing well. Following your
Skullface is definitely on the spectrum.
Following your recent discussions on Marvel films not being great and still getting a pass, in recent weeks, I have to admit that I felt like I've woken up like Neo when he takes the pill and gets pulled out of all the pink goo in the Matrix. Admittedly, I did enjoy Doctor Strange Deuce because it had all the horror tropes of Raimi. But with that being said, I went and saw Thor like a proper kino on night of release here in good old Blighty. It has to be the most disappointing Marvel film that I've ever seen. Thor's been through all sorts of trauma, and at some point, somebody needs to cover that like a fucking adult. Losing a heap of friends, didn't I say this to you?
Yeah.
Losing a heap of friends and your entire family shouldn't be met with laughter and a 5-second sizzle reel, reeled out by a bunch of rocks.
Yep.
Bale was excellent, and without going into spoilers, some of the decisions regarding other key characters left me scratching my head. The whole film felt like a dumb kid playing with their toys in a sandbox, and the shit with a shit Guns N' Roses Spotify playlist in the background. No wonder the Guardians did a runner in the opening scene. I wish I had. Apology for the length. Fuck. Ayo. With shows like I got the wrong pad set up right now. With shows like The Boys pushing boundaries and actually developing characters, I guess my questions around all this is where do we go from here with Marvel? It felt like everything leading to Infinity War had some direction. Are we too lost in the reeds now? The direction would you like to see Marvel go in? So, let me say this. I think you're 100% right. And I think that if you think about Thor objectively, if you remove Chris Hemsworth's portrayal of Thor and the writing of Thor from all those movies, and you take a step back and you ask yourself what has happened to this character over time. It's a character that has like a little bit of fish out of water, fell in love, the relationship fell apart, lost his mom, lost his dad, lost his planet, lost his people, lost his brother, just lost after lost
his eye.
After lost his eye, lost his hammer, just loss after loss after loss after loss after loss. And they should take that and make something meaningful out of it. But instead, you just get him doing a Van Damme split, holding two ships from crashing into one another. It's just dumb and it's goofy, and they don't give a fuck. They don't really ever stop to think about I don't know what you call it when you're writing a character and you actually put yourself in their shoes and say, they're writing it, I think, from the perspective of what do I want to see as a moviegoer, and not writing it from the perspective of what has this character actually had to endure that makes any kind of sense. And I'll be honest with you, I think Marvel is on a collision crash course with failure. That's my personal opinion. I've been saying it since Endgame. I think there is only one thing that can generate interest in this, but it's all in how they fucking approach it. But it's mutants. I think mutants are the answer.
Yeah, I think that they should have stopped. They need to stop with these Avengers characters and spinoffs, and they should have started again. They should have said, all right, we're taking a new element of the Marvel Universe and doing the same thing where we're building it up to something. And the mutants is the only other thing that's vast enough where you have like enough teams
to
kind of really do that. But yeah.
And it's something people are hungry for.
Start with Wolverine. Don't start with Wolverine.
No, I agree. I think what I would like to see
Jean
Marvel,
Grey.
What I would like to see Marvel do is focus on two things. Focus on the mutants as like the big overarching thing and start introducing them, and then the little fun stuff on the side that ends up playing a bigger part later on the street. You introduce the street characters like the Punisher and Daredevil and those characters, and you start building, like just said, like a whole new wave of momentum. The problem is, I think, is they keep dealing with these actors that want to kind of continue being in this space that who, might I say, 5 years ago said, well, I don't want to be pigeonholed in these roles forever. But then guess what? The opportunity stopped knocking. And now they want to play Thor. Chris Hemsworth just said, I want to play him until I can't play him anymore. But that wasn't what they were fucking saying a few years ago. They were all ready for the next big venture. But then they do fucking dumb shit like the Ghostbusters and their career takes a fucking tank. And now they all of a sudden it's fine to do Thor. I can do Thor forever. I was just kidding, guys. Sorry.
They could do Thor some more.
Thor some more.
Even Fantastic Four. They could run wild with that for a little bit.
I agree. I
You don't have to
heard
do Thor more. You could do Fantastic Four. Just get your foot in the door.
I heard that they approached Spielberg about Fantastic Four and he declined. But I think that would have been the guy to do like a space family adventure. Like that's the guy to do it. Caleb says, Caleb D, he says, Jesus Christ, I suck at this. So I write in 2 weeks ago hoping to spark discussion about The Boys before the season finale, and I missed the recording. So when I write another email, again, hoping to spark discussion about The Boys finale and ask a question specifically for Joe, and you guys knocked The Boys talk right out at the start, and Joe wasn't even there. So this week I'm going to ask something that's impossible to fuck up. Gentlemen, what is your all-time favorite piece of media? P.S. I'm probably not the first person to bring this up, but regarding the Silmarillion, he says pronounced Silmarillion. Oh fuck, dude, I can't with this shit. And Ace hit me up about it too.
The backstory to the Lord of the Rings, Bobby.
He said you were close on that, Bobby. You were right. It's a collection of historical events that take place in the first age of Tolkien's world. The movies take place in the third age. See, it all gets a bit much for me. I'm already. But he says anyway. Bye. So my favorite piece of media, I guess, is music. And I guess it would be like I could rattle off a list of albums would be my favorite piece of media.
Yeah, is that what he means? Like,
I don't know.
Yeah, like what's your go-to? Yeah, that's what I understand.
He said impossible to fuck up, and yet here we are. I think that's on us. But I mean, Thriller is like the first thing that comes to mind. Is like probably my favorite piece of media ever. I think it's the closest thing I've ever held musically to just perfection, start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, picking. Oh my God, picking between music and movies. Like
if it was
what
movies,
else is media.
If it was and TV and it could be anything.
Yeah, I would probably choose music too. I
don't think it's talking about the type.
Oh.
The specific thing.
I mean, depending on the question, how you interpret the question. If it's on a day-to-day basis, what do I go to? What do I need going on while
No, wait, stop. I don't think it's that general. I think it's very specific. Like, what is your favorite piece of media ever created?
Books. I love books.
What book?
Yeah, what book?
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
I'd change that.
The round.
If I had to name something, I'd say Wheel of Time, Robert Jordan.
The circle of the story. Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, mine's definitely music. I don't know that I'd have a favorite of all time. And
I mean, same. I just grabbed one.
Yeah.
Like, what did my gut tell me was Thriller.
That's lame.
Yeah,
dude. And my favorite thing.
I could have gone with Black Eyed Peas, Robert, but somebody already took it for today.
Yeah.
Should have said Belle Biv DeVoe.
I've been talking a lot about them this week. Oddly
enough. Now you know.
Good.
Yeah. All right. And then our last question from the week is from KFC, who says, what's up, Power Rangers? It's been a minute. Been working on me, as you say. I got two questions. First, do you ever fall in a funk with your collection? And how do you get out of it? I think we've covered this in a Dummies episode.
And you sell it all.
Yes, and you have the stuff you never really wanted in the first place forwarded to your friend.
I think that, yes, but you have to find what makes you enjoy it. And then that may take some deconstruction. Like
he means break it.
I mean, like I had to sit back and say, like, what do I want? And like, I want to look at this shit and appreciate it. So then I had to like kind of revamp how I was showing it because I wasn't giving as much of a fuck about. That's where all this stuff kind of comes from. Is that conversation with Jisk and I started having on the phone about how to make this stuff give you the feeling that you think you should have by owning it.
Yeah, you need to feel impressed. You need to walk into a space that you like to be in. Otherwise, you're in the wrong space.
Yeah. So to us, it comes down to space and how you put it on display. Second question I got into MP collecting probably 2019. My first third-party figure was actually Fans Toys Motormaster with the reissue around that time. I don't have a Minosaur and Superion because I've had Fans Toys. Is it time to cut bait and go with Zeta, XTB, DX9? I only want one set for combine mode.
No.
I think the DX9 Stemicon is the way to go if you want the combined mode.
So I agree, but I do think eventually Fans Toys will complete it. It's just no telling when.
Yeah, you're just wasting your money. I mean, the fact is, we've all, at least, the OGs, the collected the fans, defenders, the fanders, we know you just wait. Just freaking wait. Enjoy your Motormaster. Play with your Motormaster. You're going to get. You're going to get your Minosaur. Just relax.
Yeah.
Don't get something else, because then you're going to get Fans Toys release it, and then what are you going to do? You got this piece of garbage XTB, and then you got the Fans Toys.
If the Fans Toys, that XTB may be worth potentially money. It's not wrong. Fans Toys could still shit the bed on this thing.
Yeah. It's true.
Can't happen.
I don't think buying, if you're impatient, and I'm not saying that in a negative way, but if you're impatient and you want something, buy the DX9 and then just wait. You'll be able to sell one of them.
I think that's the answer. If you're patient, wait. And if you're not, get the DX9.
Yeah.
Like the Fans Toys will come.
Yeah, give in to your baser faults.
But so will Christmas 2025. That will come also.
Give in to being impatient and spontaneous. You're right. Waste your money. Go ahead.
No, I'm not saying waste your money. I think the DX9.
It's not a waste of money.
Yeah, it's great. All right, so let's wrap it up here. Shout out to the Cool Table. If you listen to this podcast, as far as I'm concerned, you're part of the Cool Table too. And shout out to, of course, Chris and Joe, who couldn't be here today, but also Raul on Instagram, and Dante on Facebook, and Phil, who on Twitter and Notes, and Ricky Tiki Timber on the videos, and anybody else working behind the scenes. And then
All Hell Unicron podcast.
And the All Hail Unicron podcast, Robert. You can find Robert on a bi-weekly basis, I believe.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
There you go. And with that,
shave pussy. They don't know.
Yeah, that's good. Robert?
Tight butt player.
Just
saggy ball sack.
Tight dick player.